counts. That's why Lowe's now has ProBlock Quick Dry Primer, expertly manufactured by Sherwin-Williams. Engineered for pros to dry fast and go on smooth for virtually flawless results that keep your job moving. It's available in oil and water-based, and getting it is easy. Order online by 2 p.m. and get free same-day delivery right to your job site. Lowe's, we help, you save. Orders placed after 2 p.m. will be delivered next day. Valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. More terms apply.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, or the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Monday, December 1st, 2025. Here we are on the last month of the year 2025. And if you ask me, this year could not end fast enough. At the end of the month, as we always do, I'll do my year in review, where I will go through the top stories of the particular calendar year, most of which we probably have forgotten about because I swear every 24 hours there was another headline. So I'm trying to sift through the hundreds of topics that we discussed this year, and there's been so many monumental things, I don't even know what my year in review was going to be like. So it's going to take me literally the rest of the month to try and figure out what were the top, most significant, influential stories of the year. So please wish me luck on that regard. Well, I hope you all had a wonderful and joyous Thanksgiving holiday. As you know, we weren't here in studio on Thursday or Friday. Hope you enjoyed spending time with your families and eating your damn green bean casserole. Also, come to find out that I am not alone in not having mashed potatoes at any Thanksgiving, really any holiday meal ever. I put something up in the Hughes Views Facebook group about the nemesis, which is green bean casserole, which I believe personally is fuel for the colonizer. So obviously a lot of African Americans, if any, make or consume green bean casserole. It's crazy that we'll have a holiday that is, I don't want to say universally celebrated, but Americans really of all like races, ethnicities, national origins, we love some Thanksgiving. Everybody celebrates it, like regardless of your religion, or even if you're a first generation American, or if you just recently got here, we all celebrate Thanksgiving. But I didn't know that there were so many cultural differences on what's on that Thanksgiving plate. Mashed potatoes does not appear in most black households, but the handful of black folks that do have mashed potatoes and or gravy on their Thanksgiving plates are like staunch defenders of it. Here's what I can't understand. So a typical black Thanksgiving, you're gonna have your turkey or your chicken and dressing. You're probably going to have some kind of greens, collard greens, turnip greens, mustard greens. You're going to have baked macaroni and cheese. Maybe you have ham. Maybe you don't. You're also going to have some kind of sweet potato. You're going to have a candied yam. Help me understand this. Most black folks that have a sweet potato or a candied yam, why would you need mashed potatoes? For what? You don't need. Got potato salad, sweet potatoes. Why would you need a mashed potato? Now, I saw this on, there was an Instagram reel, because I think we brought it up last week about mashed potatoes. I think I asked Ricky about it. Ricky said that he has mashed potatoes as a part of his Thanksgiving meal. And so I was just baffled by that, because I've never had mashed potatoes for a Thanksgiving meal. But then I see this Instagram reel from this content creator who echoed my sentiment that black people do not have mashed potatoes and gravy for Thanksgiving. And it started a bit of an internal cultural war. And here's what we have deducted. I don't know if this is scientific or not. All the stuff I could be talking about today, here's where we're starting. If mashed potatoes and gravy are served with your Thanksgiving meal, there's white folks lurking around the kitchen because they are likely the ones that brought it, prepared it, or made it, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, hope you guys did have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday weekend. We got some snow. Great way to usher in the holiday season, because technically this is where it starts. In fact, today is Cyber Monday. And I'd imagine a great deal of you, even though we are living in a large corporate boycott environment, a lot of you are doing your Cyber Monday shopping today. And here's the thing. I'm not going to shame you or drag you if you spent money on the Blackest of Fridays, if you were spending or spent money on the Small Business Saturday, or if you were looking for bargains for your holiday shopping on this Cyber Monday. Because we talked about the whole idea of boycotting and that it basically is ineffective, because when a community or a culture is upset about something and they want to take it out on corporate America, which happens pretty frequently, because we'll use one of the more successful boycotts in history, like the Montgomery bus boycott from 1955, 1956, as a way to withhold dollars in order to get some kind of social, political, or institutional change. But when we went through the details of how effective boycotts are in the modern era, they're not really worth it. And of course, Target has been the literal target of African American boycotts. But then when I went through the details of it, only about 8.9% of Target's consumers, when there is no boycott, are African American. We're not even the main consumers of Target. And so if we announce a boycott, large corporations have the ability to shift, to change gears, to hire PR firms, to issue lukewarm apologies, to give steep and deep discounts on certain products to offset the impact of the boycott. They also can pivot some of their international brands. They can sell more stuff in China or Germany if they think they're going to be losing black consumers. So they're essentially ineffective in the way that I think we want them to succeed. So I got curious. What is I'm serious now, the real impact of the African American consumer, and I don't need to know what it is nationwide because it's some ridiculously nebulous number like $1.7 trillion, but then you'd have to drill down so specifically to figure out where that $1.7 trillion go. I want to know a couple of things. What African American, like real spending power, real consumer power here in the Milwaukee metro area. Because we as black folks, we can't always have a major impact on national occurrences until there's a national election, which there will be several in the year 2026. But if most of our social issues and racial issues are locally, then what about withholding our dollars here locally to impact some kind of systemic change? Because remember, if we look at the Montgomery bus boycott, which broke the back, or was the first crack, I suppose, in the ceiling of Jim Crow, that was a local boycott. People weren't boycotting buses all over the country. They boycotted the buses in a single city, and they got that city to reform its anti-black policies. So I'm going to give you guys some information on what our spending power as black people is right here in southeastern Wisconsin, Milwaukee specifically. But more importantly, if you are going to withhold your dollars because you don't like corporate America's involvement in American politics, I'm literally losing my voice right now, Rick. What are we going to do? You prepared to take over the show if I lose my voice?
Why are you losing your voice? You ain't talked for like 4 days.
I'm getting over a cold. I had a little bit of over the weekend, and I'm a little raspy. I think it sounds kind of sexy, kind of bedroomy.
Not today.
Yesterday.
Not today. Even though I missed you, but not today.
Al came up in conversation at my Thanksgiving dinner table with my whole family.
How did that go?
My aunt brought up Al, and then my whole family looked at me like it's my fault when he says what he says.
It is your fault.
Hold on now. Don't put that blame on me. They can recall. I was shocked at the number of people in my damn family that even listen to my show. I kind of don't like that. Listen, if you're a family member of mine, I love you, but go do something else now, because I might want to talk about y'all.
I mean, they want to support their Sherwin.
No, I'm good. They supported me enough. They supported me enough to get me here. I don't need them to keep listening. So Al came up at the Thanksgiving dinner table, and it was, they can remember with shocking accuracy specific things that he has said. So shout out to Al. You've made it when you have made it to conversation at my Thanksgiving dinner table. So I want to give you guys a list of companies that if you really, as a black person, if you're unhappy about things in America and, I don't know, Trump and policies, I'm still failing to see the real connection between us withholding our spending from these corporations and then the end game being changed policy. I'm a little weary on that. But I got a list of companies that if we stop buying from these companies, they would go bankrupt. I'm talking about where black people and our dollars, our consumer dollars, would cripple companies. I'm going to give you a list of those companies, and it's not what the hell you think. And I assure you, Target is not on that list. So there's a list of companies that literally their bread and butter, they survive, they thrive. They're profitable they can expand from local to regional to national to international based on the black dollar. So if we boycotted these companies in these industries, our impact would be outsized. Where if we boycott a company like Target, no impact is felt whatsoever. All right, I'm going to take a break, try and get my damn voice back, and we're going to see if we can make it through a 3-hour tour. That is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
On Saturday night, the Milwaukee Panthers return home to take on the Robert Morris Colonials.
Aguilar high on the right side. Defended tightly by Lawson. Takes him off the dribble. Gets inside. Left hand leaner. A scoop for Amar Aguilar. Dixon across the timeline with 2. Dixon left of the lane corner. Hubbard, 3 at the gun. It is pure. It is pure.
Scott Warris has the coverage Saturday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Talk to these people in terms of how do I register for this program despite my reservations and my previous experiences of rejection?
Yes, I tell anybody and everybody that you can buy a house. It may take somebody longer than the other person, depending on what your circumstances is with your credit and income and affordability, but you can purchase a house. The first step would be is to register for our program. You can come to our office, 7830 West Burleigh Street, or you can give us a call at 414-461-6330, or just go onto our website, hri-wi.org. Register for the first-time home buyer education workshop. That's going to be your first step to home ownership. During that class, you're going to learn everything that you need to know from A to Z, how to get approved for a house, how to look for a house and put an accepted offer, and how to close on a home.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I rock your world and then your body. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry.
Get in the water. And let me tell you why I think it might be a good thing. Because there is and has been, and what I'm about to say is not going to win me any friends, like an expectation that America, rooted in the history that it is, because you cannot separate. A lot of people want to, but that's their ignorance. You can't separate where we are right now and how things look and how systems operate from how they began and how they evolved, right? If I just look at whatever racism is, whatever you think it is, it still exists, but it does not exist the way it did. So people believe that because racism is not Klansmen running around with hoods and burning crosses, because it doesn't look like that anymore, they think it doesn't exist. Or they'll point to a singular example like, oh, Barack Obama got elected to the presidency and then reelected. Clearly racism doesn't exist. That is just an exhibition of their ignorance. Everything evolves. Look at what's something that's evolved majorly that started off simple and became more complex. An automobile. Look at a Model T by Ford produced in the early 1900s. Can you picture it? You know what those look like? It's basically like it's a metal wagon, like a covered carriage, essentially. So look at that Ford and the very weird mechanisms that you needed to start it. You had to crank it up, and you had all these weird buttons and levers, and if you wanted to shift into reverse, it was a whole thing. So think about that automobile, that Model T, which wasn't even the first car. It was the first mass-produced vehicle on an assembly line. But think about a Model T. And Henry Ford, who was about the biggest Jew-hating, anti-Semitic human being on planet Earth. Do you know that Adolf Hitler sent Henry Ford a birthday card, and that Adolf Hitler idolized Henry Ford? Think about that for a second. But think about the Model T, okay? Now fast forward to the year 2025 and look at a Ford Mustang Mach-E. The Ford Mustang, which has been around since 1964, it's not even powered by gasoline anymore. And I want you to compare and contrast the amenities and the features of a Model T from 1917 and a 2025 Ford Mach-E Mustang that runs on electricity. You literally plug that car into a wall in order for it to run. See, they're both automobiles, but look how they have evolved. And I would argue one is dramatically more sophisticated than the other. So is racism. Racism doesn't look like it did in the 1910s and the 1920s. Neither do cars. Everything has evolved. So because of that very unusual and quite honestly painful history that most people don't know because it's not compulsory to teach it, think that kind of racism doesn't exist. But African Americans feel this sense of entitlement. But it's a deserved entitlement, right? If you were kept out of buying a house and you've missed 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 generations of having equity, the income disparities and the wealth disparities are literally explained right there through that single policy, which is still felt to this day. And so we as black folks think that white America owes us, you owe us something. Money, a house, opportunity. You owe us a job. Hell, you owe us something. And I think that mentality of entitlement, but I'm not using entitlement as a negative. Like the Japanese were entitled to compensation when they were uprooted from their homes and put in internment camps during World War II. They were entitled to their compensation. We have an entitlement as well. But I think that our entitlement has impacted our culture in a way that we don't have to apply ourselves or work as hard because there's an expectation. There's an expectation that we can say whatever we want, do whatever we want, act however we want, wear damn pajama pants in public because, you know, we're black and you can't tell us anything because America's got a history of being racist toward us. So now what we're going to do is we're going to push back and rebel in very overt ways. And I think just having the appearance of a DEI policy is bad. Let me tell you why. Because white people don't know anything about diversity, equity, and inclusion. If they do it, it's because it may increase the value of the company, it may increase their share price, it may appease a board of directors or two, it might be like fitting the political climate, the moment that we are going through. But also white people are not good at diversity because they never want to be outnumbered no matter what, no matter how left-leaning and liberal they are and how much they say they love DEI, they will never let people of color outnumber them because that's the whole point of being white, having numbers, you see. So when they implement it, it's always bad. It's going to fail, and it's always going to be temporary. So that is why I am, maybe confused isn't the right word. Maybe I am confused. If a DEI policy, wherever, is reinstated, the people that would be instituting it and the ones that could enforce it don't fundamentally believe in it anyway. And also, this is a me thing. Your situation may vary. I don't want a job just because I'm black. I don't want that job. If I get an opportunity, well, hold on now. Let me revise that. Depends on what it is, I guess. But I don't want to be held to the standard of whatever somebody thinks black is, and if they have a level of sympathy for it to where, I'm going to give Sherwin his job because he's black and he probably is poor and he probably got his food stamps, pause. I don't want to work for someone or something that has that kind of diminished attitude about us. Hire me because my blackness brings a perspective that white people that eat mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving can't see. Hire women because women have an interaction with the world that a lot of men will never be able to comprehend. Hire someone who is a first-generation American, who's a new citizen, because where they're from, the land, the country, the nation they're from, had a very unique way of dealing with complicated economic and social and academic problems that could be of value to you and your company, and also trying to figure out very complicated problems. You understand it? So I don't know what our ultimate goal is, but I know that the incarnation of DEI that existed was not one that I think prioritized black excellence. It prioritized just having like numbers. Oh, here's our diversity count here at this particular company. The National Retail Federation ranked Target as the 8th largest company in the United States in 2024. Target shoppers took to social media over the weekend to share their disappointment after a Black Friday promotion left hundreds of early risers feeling unfairly rewarded for lining up outside of store locations before they open. So I found this story, which appears in the mirror.com, to be particularly interesting as we are living in this boycottable consumer environment. And I'm looking at this picture of Target, and it's a line of people. Who does that? Not only is everything in a retail store available online, there's more stuff available online. And sometimes you get free shipping. Why do people, this looks so 1990s to me, and it's black people in this line too. Why do people line up in the morning to go into a store? Here's my thing. And again, I'm different than most. If there's a line, I ain't going. Unless the last line I stood in was for a COVID shot. I don't stand in line. In fact, if I go to a restaurant and it's crowded, it's crowded when you can't find nowhere to park in the lot, and you walk into the lobby and you just see a bunch of lost people milling around. It's just kids running around with no parents and just people just standing everywhere. And you go up to the hostess and you say, "Excuse me. Excuse me, Cheesecake Factory hostess. How long is the wait? For how many? A table of 2. It's going to be between 45 minutes and an hour." Before she even says an hour, she's already looking at my ass because I turned around and walked out. I don't wait. We have a YouTube poll up, I think. You put it up, Ricky? We're asking people if they've started their holiday shopping already, trying to capture some of these deals. And no, we didn't. Where the poll at, man? Well, Ricky is going to put a poll up. Clearly, he's had a busy morning. Going to ask you if you've started your holiday shopping because I'm trying to see something. Have you guys captured the Black Friday madness and mayhem and the steep discounts? I've got a bunch of details on how retailers, which is going to account for about 19% of their total annual revenue, is going to come between last Friday and like December 5th. So it's a real big deal for retailers. So I'm trying to see how many of you have already started your holiday shopping, because as of right now, consumer spending is up from last year. In fact, it's up dramatically. So whatever impact that boycotters thought they had is being dramatically offset. And here's what's crazy. It's being offset in a tariff-rich, inflationary economy where everything is more expensive. Time is more expensive in this environment. Target's, quote, swag bag giveaway promotion included images of a shiny tote bag, store gift cards, a keychain, and wrapping paper. It also claimed that 10 bags out of the 100 given away would, quote, hold a special prize valued at $99 or more. So these are some of the promotional things that Target is trying to do to make sure that consumers stay loyal to them this holiday season. The prizes, according to the promotional graphic, include a Ninja Slushy frozen drink maker, a Leifin SE Light hair dryer, a pair of Beats Solo 4 Bluetooth headphones, a $100 Target gift card, and a Target Circle 360 membership. Photos of the bags posted to Reddit and Instagram appeared to show paltry offerings inside, barely occupying the space within the large tote bag. One bag contained a single pack of Uno cards, a miniature Gems shampoo package, a small Nerds candy box, an Elf cosmetic product, and a small variety pack of Element electrolyte water supplement. That's according to one shopper who put their bag up for sale on eBay. A Reddit user posted a similar assortment of items, which appeared to take up a tiny fraction of the space inside of the tote bag. Quote, literally so disappointed, the user wrote under the post titled, "Swag Bag WTF. I was 10 out of 100 and waited 3 hours in line for this." That's what you get for waiting 3 hours in line. Are people really still doing that? And let me not be rude or disrespectful to people that's where they get their fun and their excitement, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to stand in line.
I was just having a conversation with a couple people about Black Friday, and I honestly was like, is that still a thing? Because the reason I say that is because people used to go to Black shopping for like game systems and TVs, and we have all those things now. Not only that, it's online shopping, so I don't see why there's a need for Black Friday to stay in line.
Years ago, there would be all this coverage. Like they would have local news stations at, at the Kmart, at the Walmart, at the Best Buy, at the whatever, the Costco. And they would be covering people milling about in the parking lot, people that camped out overnight in these huge lines. Like, that was many, 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 many years ago. I saw one story, and I don't even know what retailer it was, where you know how when the doors open, when the store where people have been camping out overnight or for hours, when they finally open, and you see this rush of people like they're sprinting. I saw one story, so they opened up the door, and it was just like 4 fat ladies. And they were just running. Where are you going? It's 4 of you. I guarantee whatever it is that you were going to buy, there's going to be enough of it in stock. It's just a weird, like, Americans are insane. So the lines that you used to see in these huge rushes, there used to be stampedes. You guys remember the stampedes? Like, Walmart would have the $99 flat screen TV, boom, right where you walked in, and immediately people would just start diving on the TVs, right? The news story that I saw, and I only saw one, they opened the door and it was 4 fat ladies. They weren't even really running. It's just their arms were moving real fast. It looked like they were running. It was like a brisk walk, and that's all it was. Just curious as to why people still do that. Quote, over and over again, they were warned the contents were nothing to get excited about, a commentator wrote in a reply to the Reddit post talking about these swag bag giveaways from Target. Greedy corporate catering to greedy consumers. This is hilarious. What do you mean the multi-billion-dollar corporation wasn't generous with their free goodie bags? Another user posted sarcastically, quote, I guess my question is, why did you think it was a good idea to wait for 3 hours for a goodie bag? Another user wrote. If you go to our YouTube, go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device, search 1017 The Truth, hit subscribe. We just need 50 more subscribers to hit 5K. We're going to get that this week, I hope. You'll find our YouTube poll. Have you started your holiday shopping yet? Yes or no? I'm going to go ahead and answer. Put my answer in. And it looks like, wow, 83% of you have not started your holiday shopping. Oh, you last minuters.
I started literally yesterday.
I ain't even started looking. I ain't even figured out who I'm buying for yet. I got to narrow this list down because this list is a lot bigger this year than it was last year. Everybody ain't getting a gift from me. They going to get the gift of Gab.
Can I get a gift?
No.
I'm your producer.
You ain't never got me nothing but a headache.
That's exchange gifts. I know what you like.
We don't even. We used to do gift exchanges here at 101. We used to have Christmas parties here. All that got cut out.
What would you like, a Cuban cigar?
Actually, I would.
Yeah. See, that's exchange gifts. You got a Cuban money.
You know how to get. We'll talk about this off the air. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What is a DJ? Do we just play music? Maybe some are that simple. For me, I create memories that last a lifetime. I'm always thinking about how songs connect. I read the room. Every event is an open canvas, a new world. So what's a DJ when you hire me? I'm a vibe architect, a curator of euphoria, a guaranteed good time.
I know you want me. Every day, not only when you're lonely.
Whether you have a wedding, festival, corporate event, or any other special occasion, get your free consultation with DJ Rhea Maniac today.
Trailblazer.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person. Complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
If better sleep has been hard to come by, you're not alone, and the right mattress can make all the difference. That's why Helix Sleep and Steinhoffels have teamed up to bring their award-winning mattresses to Steinhoffels. Now you can try Helix in person, something you can't just do anywhere. Right now, Steinhoffels is offering 20% off all Helix mattress orders just for our Truth Nation listeners. Head to steinhoffels.com to learn more today. Helix Sleep at Steinhoffels. Better sleep starts now.
Looking for a fun and meaningful way to kick off the holiday season? Join us for the 20th anniversary of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive, Saturday, December 13th at the Kasmeric Center in Grafton. This free, family-friendly event is a celebration of giving. Bring a new, unwrapped toy and help brighten the holidays for children and families in need across Wisconsin. To learn more or get involved, visit kidstokidstoydrive.com and join us on December 13th in Grafton.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You guys want to make an impact with your dollars? I got a list of companies and industries that cannot survive without the African American consumer dollar. We make these people, companies, and corporations rich. We make the shareholders rich. So if you want corporate power to have more influence on policy, to do right by us, because these categories and these companies, these businesses, if they don't have the black consumer dollar, so if anything interrupts the black economy, these companies and these industries feel it first. They would go to bat to protect the African American consumer if we boycotted these particular companies, corporations. There's whole industries that thrive off of us. Some of us work to get paid to give our money to these companies and these industries. Now, here's the thing. This is what I find a little bit disingenuous, because the people that are the curators of these sometimes seemingly random boycotts, they pick companies where the black consumer is minuscule. They know full well that there are companies and industries where the black consumer is 30%, 35%, 37%, 40%, 60%, 70% of the consumer base. Here's the problem. See, those are the companies that we need. We need them products. We have to have them. They're a part of who we are culturally. And here's the thing. None of them are black owned. The boycott is supposed to be inconvenient. You know how easy it is for me to not shop at Target? Because I didn't shop at Target anyway. If somebody says, hey, Sherwin, and I probably would respond in kind by saying, hey, person, Sherwin, I want you to engage in a very high level of social activism. I'll say, tell me more. They'll say, Sherwin, don't shop at Target. You know what I'll say? Done. That's all I had to do. It's something I'm not even doing anyway. So the companies that we love, that we like, in the industries that we as black people sometimes define ourselves by, those are the ones that we should boycott. Because us withholding our dollar, and it's not permanent, just withhold your dollars for a little bit so they can feel that sting. Just like a little zap, like a zzz. Just a minor slowdown in black consumerism amongst these companies, corporations, and industries would send shock waves through them, and they would send somebody to the negotiating table. If we stop spending money in some of these brands that have gone international, they started as local. Then they get regional, right? Then they get nationwide. Then they go international based on our dollars. And so if we contracted our spending, they couldn't be international anymore. They'd have to close some of their national branches and locations. They couldn't even be national anymore. They might even shrink back down to being regional or local. But the reason why they have this expansive multi-continent presence is because of our dollar. What do we got here? African-American consumers punch far above their weight economically. 14% of the U.S. population, but routinely 20 to 50% of category sales in several verticals. Beauty, footwear, entertainment, quick service restaurants, and what do you think the last one is? I'll give you the other ones again. Beauty. We're huge in the beauty industry. And here's the thing. Even without all of the additional things and the additional add-ons and all of the things, black people are beautiful. We glisten and glow. We're look at our skin. It's so chocolatey. It's beautiful skin. We're just beautiful people. But yet we spend so much money to look a way that we weren't intended to even look. Footwear, guilty as charged. I got a lot of shoes. Entertainment, quick service restaurants, and what do you think the last category is? Liquor. Companies and industries that would face extreme revenue loss without black consumers. What's number one? Nike. You're not boycotting Nikes. You want to have an impact? You want Nike to go to bat for you? You want Nike to now be the new lobbyist on behalf of African-American equity, diversity, equity, and inclusion? Stop buying Jordans. Next time you hear about some Jordans coming out, say, what? Why you do that, Ricky? You wear Jordans?
I gotta have my Jordans. I gotta have my J-Bones.
I need you to want your community to be better and to do better and to get more political support. So if
I could stop Target. I could stop that. But
no more Jordans.
But Jordans?
No.
On, man.
This man hasn't even played basketball in 30 damn years. You over here still buying the shoe? Michael Jordan, he's got a belly on him.
The Gamma's about to come out, man. The Gamma's come out next week.
They have a name?
Yeah. The Gammas. And then the Bugs Bunny ones come out on Christmas. Gotta have a J-Bone.
Hang on a second. Hold on. You mean to tell me grown-ass adults is going to buy some damn Bugs Bunny? They selling y'all anything.
It's the colorway. It's the colorway. That's why.
I don't know what that means.
Colorway, like the colors on the shoes. That's.
They'll sell y'all anything. Look at my people. I see how we got on a slave boat. They probably said, hey, Africans, there's Jordans on this ship. And
what you used to buy Jordans at one point in time.
Rick, I owned one pair of Jordans when I was in the 11th grade. 1991. I had.
What number was they?
The black and orange ones. They were ugly.
The black, which number?
Like 2, 3. I don't know. How the hell would I know? It was 30 years ago. I don't know. There was other shoes. There was like Charles Barkley had a better shoe at the time. There was a plethora of basketball players that had their own shoe brand. So at the time, there was so much more variety in shoe brand that you could make a statement by buying other shoes other than Nikes. Like half of my friends wore Reeboks. The other half wore Converse. Well, I guess that's two halves. Some still wore Jordans. But there was a larger variety of basketball players that had shoes where you would buy the shoe, and everybody wasn't a Jordan fan. I mean, Jordan was a great basketball player, but while he was... So in 1991, when I'm in the 10th grade, I think they had maybe won their first championship, maybe their second one, but they were still a Chicago team. I'm not buying a shoe from a dude that's in a rival city and a rival team. I'm a Milwaukee Bucks player. Bucks fan, not a player.
But if you do boycott Nike, that means you boycott the Bucks too. And Giannis.
Not necessarily. They're all still going to have their shoe deals. They're all still going to have their shoes. But Nike corporate, their consumer division. So Nike is going to make money off of however they license their shoes and the shoe deals they have with actual NBA players. That's one thing. Because you still got white kids that would be buying a bunch of those shoes. But their consumer division that counts on black people shooting each other and lining up for 3 days to get a Bugs Bunny shoe. I wish I would see a grown-ass man wearing a Bugs Bunny shoe.
Well, nobody lines up outside the stores anymore.
It'll be some
I never
somewhere.
did that, by the way.
Oh, it'll be some. Depends on the city. I bet you like somewhere like Detroit.
Like, so with normally with the Christmas Jordans that come out on Christmas and stuff like that, they normally have like restocks and they have heavy restock because they go so fast. So they just ship them in and ship them out, ship them in. So it really don't be no line for the Christmas Jordans.
Ricky, this is like the most sophisticated detail about any topic I think you have ever given me. You
That
really
is
like
not true.
You
That's
like
not
your
true.
shoes.
For one, I still buy Jordans, but I don't wait in line. But I also have kids that like Jordans.
No, you got to stop that. It's other shoes. What about Pro Wings? What about British Knights?
I would rather wear New Balances and Asics before I wear Pro Keds.
Here, look what I'm wearing. Look at this. Look at it. That's an ASIC.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
would wear
comfortable ass shoe.
Asics and New Balances are in.
Let me tell you something. I've been wearing these. I've been on these for years. I don't know how long, if these ever came in, but I don't buy stuff because they're in. I buy stuff because it's comfortable.
How much did you pay for those?
$100.
Yeah,
like 5 years ago.
They like $150 shoes now.
But oh damn! Look what I just found on it. Look, that little hole peeling a little bit right there.
You touching the bottom of your shoe?
I touch whatever I want. I gotta take a break. Look what time it is, Ricky. You over here talking about your damn shoe fetish, you freak.
I definitely have a shoe fetish. I gotta have my J-bones.
Speaking of fetishes, I think some of these consumer categories where African Americans make these companies and corporations rich, I think they are fetishes. We'll talk about more of those on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform, and on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube at 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
There's nothing like Milwaukee Bucks basketball at Fiserv Forum. The dunks, the defense, the roar of 17,000 fans. It's even better when you're with friends or family. From jaw-dropping plays to buzzer-beating threes, every game is packed with unforgettable moments that you'll get to share together. So gather your crew and get your single game tickets today at bucks.com/single. That's bucks.com/single.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Wisconsin winters can be tough, and so are higher energy bills. The Community Advocates Milwaukee County Energy Assistance Program is ready to help you. Eligible Milwaukee County residents can receive help with their energy bills and weatherization benefits to keep you warm and help you manage your heating and electric bills. Schedule your personal appointment at keepwarmmke.org or call 414-270-4653. For more details about locations and hours of operation, go to communityadvocates.net. This program is administered by the State of Wisconsin Department of Administration.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
If we want to flex our muscle as African American black people, we can do so with our dollars because the idea of boycotting companies is popular. Maybe we don't like their DEI policies, and I don't like their DEI policies either because white folks shouldn't be in charge of diversity. It's going to be a point in time where hiring white people will be diversity. Oh, darn it. I guess we got to hire some of these freaking whites. Oh, jeez. Oh, they're so unqualified in their poor public education. So putting the majority in charge of diversity where they have to hire the minority is like putting men atop of women's issues. Fundamentally, diametrically opposed. Telling white people that they need to create and implement a policy of DEI is destined for failure because they have not been sufficiently educated in the history and traditions of black culture and what black cultural output even looks like. So it's based on stereotypes. And you can't even have the conversation with white folks because so much of this world has just been catered to them. It's their way. They have mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving. They have green bean casserole. You know what's crazy? They think everybody has mashed potatoes and green bean casserole. Not nan one of those things. And now listen, I've been to their Thanksgivings before. Here's the difference between what I've seen. And my Thanksgiving experiences are, I should write a book about them because I got a real diverse group of friends. The biggest difference that I see in the black Thanksgiving and the white Thanksgiving is the amount of alcohol that is consumed. About a third of the white family is too drunk to eat by the time the food is served. About a third of them are already passed out. So if you arrive at the white Thanksgiving, say just moments before dinner is served, you're going to walk in, you're going to see many people, many whites strewn across the floor and laying on the couches, and you'll think that you missed dinner. Like, oh my, look at all these passed out whites. That turkey and stuffing must have been delicious. I'm like, no, sure, when they're drunk. They started drinking at 11 a.m., so they're going to eat later. But the amount of alcohol that is consumed, there's no alcohol on my Thanksgivings. Unless we sneak it. The cousins, but there's none. There's no alcohol. But I know the white Thanksgiving, you're gonna have green bean casserole. You're gonna have mashed potatoes, and you're gonna have an assortment of red and white wines. You're gonna have a Chablis. Where else are you gonna find a Chablis? Black people don't drink Chablis. We drink Hennessy, which is disgusting, by the way. African-American consumers over-index in athletic footwear and streetwear purchases. The Jordan brand, a subsidiary of Nike, is deeply connected to black cultural capital. Sneaker culture, basketball culture, and hip-hop culture, three pillars of Nike's brand equity, are shaped by black consumers. Nike has divisions shaped by our consumer behavior, so they rely on hip-hop culture, basketball culture, and sneaker culture, and they are a multi-billion-dollar international corporate conglomerate based on us and our spending behavior. And if we decide, you know what, we're not going to buy the Jordan 32s or whatever the next Jordan is, they would want to be heavily involved and engaged as to why not, and that's when we can make a list of demands. Hey, Nike, go lobby Trump to invest more money in urban areas where black home ownership is low. And Nike would get it done faster than Congress would. Number 2 is Adidas. Why? Attracts similar cultural dependency as Nike in basketball, lifestyle sneakers, and hip-hop rooted fashion. Collaborations with black artists, athletes, and cultural movements drive Adidas's premium lines. I don't know y'all still wore Adidas's other than the shell toe. Large losses in its U.S. lifestyle segment, weaker brand relevance, and major contraction in the North American sales market would happen if African Americans stopped buying Adidas. Number 3 is the Jordan brand, which is distinct from Nike. Its customer base and cultural identity are overwhelmingly tied to black American style, sport, and fashion. The impact, if we stop buying the Jordan brand specifically, their business model would be irreparably damaged. It is one of the few brands where collapse is not an exaggeration. I'll give you more of these companies and industries on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Come in with straight truth.
Everything got a message. I'll say this. Y'all can't be tired if y'all still messing with the negative energy. Every day I get on and say, the power of the tongue. Your impulsive negative thoughts, reacting, and these kids watching you reacting all wild and crazy. The programming you watching on TV, the music. And now, like Security Mike said, it's popular to pop somebody. It's popular now. And these kids coming back, they coming back to somebody's house. They coming to eat a meal at somebody's house. They hanging out with somebody in the neighborhood who got a house, who paying the rent. They hanging out with you. They may be your relative. They may be your buddy. That social acceptance is there. Understand what I'm saying? So when we really tired, we gonna cut it off. We gonna stop it.
Tune in to all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows all day, every day by downloading the Truth app.
When I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, I had so many questions. I didn't even know that it was cancer. Now I do. It is cancer. Blood cancer. It's actually one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently. Now, unlike some other forms of cancer, usually there's no tumor. You can't screen for it to prevent it, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time. I didn't feel like eating or doing anything else for that matter. And I know that this can feel scary. But if you know what to look out for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you'll feel more empowered to take the next steps. Like getting in touch with the people who know the ins and outs and can help with everything blood cancer related. Blood Cancer United. They work one-on-one with each person who reaches out to answer questions and offer resources. Blood Cancer United was there for me, and they can be there for you.
Go to bloodcancerunited.org to learn more.
Dear employer, my name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Raskovich.
Ronaldo Bird.
Zach Deiser.
I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum,
I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates.
My detail-oriented nature allows me to communicate complex ideas,
to break down data,
to have no fear in meeting new people.
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you are used to.
Structure, routine,
and clear expectation.
Help me do my best work.
My autism allows me to have a perspective that needs to be seen and heard.
It allows me to make the world safer and improve systems in ways others can't.
It allows me to bring people's inner worlds to life with my artwork.
My autism
will bring your team important insights.
Thank you for your consideration.
An autistic inclusive workplace is good for business. It's time to make a change. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/win.
Get the truth and nothing but the truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 a.m. WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We are talking about companies and brands and corporations and even whole industries that would absolutely collapse if the African-American consumer walked away from these product brands. And I come to find out that Nike and Jordan is one of those companies, brands, and corporations, but you all would not walk away from them. It's crazy because our consumerism in this regard is more effective and more powerful than our vote. Because getting black folks to vote is sometimes the endeavor. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Getting us to buy certain products and brands is consistent. And we spend more money. If there was a way to equate dollars spent to political participation, our money makes more of a statement. How we use it, what we do with it, what we buy, how we want to look, the fashion statements we want to make is more pronounced than our political influences. Because there's only certain segments of the African-American community and or population that vote in 100% of the elections all the time, and it's a very small share of our community. That's a growing share, I hope, but those of us that purchase certain brands and certain industries is consistent. It's more consistent than our voting behavior. So, okay, cool. Let's meet people where they are. So if we're not going to get the kind of attention and meaningful policy changes that really should have been rectified during the civil rights movement, but there was a pause after Dr. King was killed. And if we can't do it through political and policy means, then maybe we engage the companies and the people that we make rich to do our political bidding for us. Because I promise you, the Air Jordan brand, and Nike, they've got lobbyists on Capitol Hill talking to members of Congress every single day about them wanting to open up another international operation, or I'm sure there's some congressman in Texas who's meeting with a Nike executive because they may want to open up a new Nike shoe distribution center somewhere in Texas. So if these companies and these corporations already have better relationships, especially with Republicans, better relationships with Republicans who are in the majority than we do as black folks, then let the companies and the corporations that we make rich, because some of the money that they get, some of their profit, is given to their lobbyists. So we might even be fueling the political operations of some of these large companies and corporations. And if they're already on the calendar of some of these Republican elected officials, if we stop spending, then that lobbyist might be like, wait a minute, I have to make sure that the African-American community is getting their political demands met, because if they're not buying our products, I'm going to lose my job. But our cultural affinity, and I think how we define ourselves, because we're not really defined through our history. We're defined by the fashion statements that we make in our creativity. It's very much like a now focus instead of knowing who we are and letting that guide our cultural decisions. We buy stuff and look a part. We look a certain part, right? Which is typical of a colonized people. Because if your history is little known at best, well, then you want to make new history by living fashion forward and living in the present. I want to read some of these comments over on our YouTube page. Go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. Search 1017 The Truth. Hit subscribe, trying to get 50 more subscribers by the end of the week so we can hit 5K. And you can also participate in our YouTube chat. Let me read some of these. Oh, look, we even have text messages. What the hell? Millicent. Somebody go see if Millicent is okay. You ain't gonna believe what she just texted me. What the? I don't want to. So she texted this at 9:09. So clearly, this is something I was talking about an hour ago that she responded to. So I was talking about mashed potatoes and gravy with Thanksgiving. Black folks already have a lot of starches on the plate. And of the starches that we have, our preferred starches are better than mashed potatoes and gravy. Macaroni and cheese, cornbread dressing, sweet potatoes, and potato salad. All of those outpace mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes are boring. You know what I've really come to love as I've gotten older? Potato salad. I've always eaten it, but when I was a little kid, I didn't like because my mama would put up little onions and peppers, little green pepper, bell peppers and onions, and I used to pick it out. Now I want that crunch. You know what I mean? Because it adds a little bite. Because the potato rather, is creamy and it's soft. I need a little crunchity crunch from the onions and the peppers. I love me a good. You gotta have mustard and mayonnaise in it. My potato salad, if it ain't yellow, I'm not saying hello. You know what I mean? It's gotta be yellow.
I didn't realize how much I love deviled eggs as an adult.
I love them too, but my mother rarely made them. If on occasion, maybe.
Me and my stepson and my son, baby Ricky, we murdered them. We faded them.
Yeah,
before dinner was done.
Yeah, I like a deviled egg. And now egg prices apparently are cheaper. Shout out to President Trump, I guess, whoever made the egg prices cheaper. But here's what Millicent said. I don't even want to read it.
Read that thing. What she say?
She says, I have mashed potatoes topped with shrimp.
Oh, no.
What the hell?
Hell no.
Play it. Play my hell no. Play it twice. Hell no. One more time. Hell no. Well, hold on. No. Wait, let's walk through this. Mashed potatoes, the creamy, savory, whipped light texture, salt, pepper, maybe a little bit of sage in the gravy, okay? Maybe no gravy. Let's remove the gravy and put some shrimp. The briny, seafoody, chew texture of a shrimp with a mashed potatoes. Now, here's the thing. Shrimp and grits, a hit. Shrimp and grits, more popular and more palatable, in my opinion, than chicken and waffles. Chicken and waffles is stupid. It's a stupid combination. I don't know who came up with fried chicken and a waffle. It doesn't make any sense to me. I've had it maybe twice. I tried it maybe a third time and just I'm trying to understand why people like it. Makes zero sense to me whatsoever.
I'm not crazy about it either. I understand it, but I don't want chicken. I want breakfast food.
Exactly. But I get it. It's sweet and savory, and that's a big thing that Americans eat. We like sweet stuff and savory stuff on the same plate. Best shrimp and grits I've ever had. It was a little restaurant in Madera Beach, Florida. I cannot think for the life of me what the name of that restaurant was, but I would fly back to Madera Beach, Florida. I know where the restaurant is. I just don't know what it's called. It was right by the little village, right outside the little village that I stay at when I go to Madera Beach. I ain't never in my life. They use Gouda and Munster cheese and cumin. I ain't never in my life had shrimp and grits as good as this little joint in Florida. And they pour this buttery gravy on it. Man, listen. But the other best shrimp and grits that I've had is at Scene 1. Scene 1 where we had I think maybe our second or our third.
It was last year.
Beyond the Mic. Yeah, we did a Beyond the Mic at Scene 1. Now, hold on now. I know sometimes black restaurants be messing with the recipe. They be changing stuff. The last time I had their shrimp and grits at Scene 1, I wanted to fight. I was like, I'll fight anybody right now. I'll fight. And I was we went and watched a Packer game. Myself and a bunch of elected officials. And I tried the shrimp and grits for the first time. It was so good that I went and I walked to the corner because I didn't want to be bothered. I walked and I just hoarded my shrimp and grits. It was delicious. So shout out to Scene 1. But mashed potatoes and shrimp? But Millicent is always she's a little different.
Hell no, to the no, 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 hell to the no.
Demia says, drink some hot tea, Sherwin. Sidebar, I've started the book, They Were Her Property. Woo-wee. As an avid reader, some of the things I knew, but to see it put in this format is eye-opening and even more infuriating. That word was broken up real weird on my text message platform. I've had two other purchased the book so that we can discuss it together. Thanks for the recommendation. So there's a book called They Were Her Property, because I think that America still does not understand the sinister role that the white woman has played in American structural and institutional racism and slavery. And that, so first of all, slavery never went away. It's just evolved. Just like the car has evolved, racism has evolved. Right now, there are more African Americans incarcerated than there were slaves in 1850. And 1850 was the height of slavery. Like, we're right on the cusp of Civil War, right? Where slave ownership and the wealth that it created and generated was as high as it ever was going to be in the antebellum period. But there are more black people incarcerated than there were at the height of slavery. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. All of you that think that slavery ended in 1865. It did not. But white women owned 40% of the property in human beings. They would inherit slaves. They would get slaves as gifts. They would inherit slaves from their fathers. If there were no brothers, then the girls, the sisters, the daughters got the slaves. They also would inherit slaves from their husbands. Because remember, women outlive men. And especially back then when men would marry much younger women. So if this woman married a wealthy plantation-owning aristocrat and he died, those slaves now become her property. And women, because they didn't have the same rights as men, like they couldn't vote, and they were very diminished in all the different public aspects of life, they wanted to prove their worth and their validation through how brutal they treated their slaves. We seem to think that women, white women in particular, are just like these innocent little victims and they're discriminated against because of their gender. No. They have upheld the pillars of discrimination really unlike any other group, and they did so without having any rights of their own. In fact, one of the most overt exhibitions of white woman racism against African Americans is when black men got the right to vote in 1865, but white women in general, didn't get the right to vote until 1920. So the suffrage movement that is celebrated by women and women's groups, the 19th Amendment, I think, is that what one of those damn amendments gave women the right to vote, was started out of the hatred of black men getting the right to vote first. So the book, When They Were Her Property, illustrates the brutality of white women. So here's another one. I'm going to get back on track in a second. If he was wearing a KKK hood, who do you think sewed it? She did. If the majority of white women voted for Trump in 2016, in 2020 and 2024, which is the truth, and if we are told as men to believe women, they say, okay, cool, whatever, I'll believe them. If we are, in fact, as men, as whatever race or color or culture you are, as black men are told to believe women, when white women voted for Trump in 2016, 2020, and 2024, exactly what do you want me to believe about you? Does that make sense? If we are to believe women, and if white women voted for Trump in the last 3 consecutive elections, they voted for Trump in a majority number, and we're supposed to believe women, exactly what is my belief system about you supposed to be? And so that is why we trace this belief system right back to the days of the antebellum period when they were her property. Oh, by the way, Mandela Barnes is announcing he's running for governor tomorrow. He didn't want me to tell you that. He wanted to shock everybody, oh, I'm going to come out with this announcement. Well, I found out about it over the weekend, and I just went to snitching. I posted it on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is not even a political social networking site. I put it everywhere. So Mandela is announcing that he's running for governor tomorrow, which is going to upend the Democratic primary. And I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. What's going to happen, rather. He very well may make it through the Democratic primary and then face off against the Republican primary winner, who I believe is going to be Congressman Tom Tiffany, who is your run-of-the-mill Trumper. And because Mandela Barnes cannot recreate the political climate of 2018, when he got elected lieutenant governor, he, just like in 2022, when he ran against Ron Johnson for the U.S. Senate, he will not be able to win statewide. Wisconsin voters, not necessarily the ones around here, because Mandela, he's polarizing still. He's not going to get, he got more of the black vote and more black support in 2022 than he's going to get running for governor in 2026. And he still lost. He can't win statewide against a Republican. He can't. The math isn't there. The data's not there. The statistics don't meet it out. He cannot win statewide because Wisconsin voters would prefer a Trump sycophant than to vote for Mandela. Now, there was a period of time where that wasn't true when he was elected lieutenant governor, and if he really wanted to be governor, all he had to do was literally nothing. He decided to quit his lieutenant gubernatorial position, leave Tony Evers out to dry, and then Tony Evers goes and finds Sarah Rodriguez, God bless her, because Mandela thought it was an opportunity for him to get into the U.S. Senate. Well, he lost that race because he can't get elected statewide unless a particular political climate exists. And the thing about political climates, they're never duplicated. Just like some of y'all say, oh, Obama should run again. Obama couldn't win an election in modern America. He would not win. Even if it was possible for him to run again, the political climate that existed in 2008 and 2012, it doesn't exist. It only exists in our minds. It's only nostalgia. Nostalgia does not create the political climate you are currently living in. You understand? Right? More Democrats have probably turned 18 since 2008 and 2012, but more Republicans and more Trumpers have also turned 18 as well. So tomorrow Mandela's going to announce, oh, he going to be mad at me. But we told the boy not to run. We told him not to run. All he going to do was ruin it. In 2022, you had a very healthy field of Democratic candidates, most of whom would have performed better against Ron Johnson than he did. But they all dropped out of the race. Y'all remember that? And you had Alex Lazary, Sarah Godlewski. Sarah Godlewski would have beat Ron Johnson. And there's some other folks that were in that U.S. Senate race in 2022. They all dropped out to give their support to Mandela. All the other Democrats that potentially could have beat Ron Johnson, they said, no, we're going to give it to Mandela and support him. And even with the support of those other Democratic candidates, Mandela still lost. In the event, he wants to basically duplicate the failure in 2022, and he's been doing less politically. You know what he's been doing over the past couple of years since he's been out of office? Running marathons. Because he's a well-known commodity, and in a Democratic primary, your name identification means a lot. A lot of people know who he is, and some Democrats in the primary will likely vote for him. But if he advances out of the primary, it's going to guarantee that we have a Trump-supporting governor in the state of Wisconsin. And Mandela has been told this. There was even a poll that came out, and I published the poll. It's all over the place. It's on my Twitter. It's on my Facebook, that shows even before Mandela got into the race, well, he gets into the race tomorrow, it shows him losing to Tom Tiffany even before he entered the race. Now, you do polling to try and figure out like where you are versus voter sentiment. And if the hypothetical matchup is put before potential voters in a poll and Wisconsinites prefer the Republican Trumper like they did in 2022 when Mandela ran against Ron Johnson, then you don't run. He's either running out of arrogance, or if he can't be the Democrat to be governor, then nobody can be a Democrat governor. I really feel like he is spoiling this race for Democrats because he has some vendetta and some chip on his shoulder. And here's the thing. Now is not the time to want to exact your political revenge. And maybe he's still mad that he lost the 2022 U.S. Senate race. But because Ron Johnson was the weakest Republican in the country, which probably added to the motivation of why Mandela wanted to run against him. Because if you can't beat the weakest Republican, like, come on now. Ron Johnson beat Mandela. Tom Tiffany is a stronger Republican than Ron Johnson was. And Mandela is getting in the race because he thinks that he can he can beat him when it's been illustrated that he can't beat a Republican statewide because Wisconsin voters will prefer to vote for a Republican than him. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 on a Cyber Monday. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
On Saturday night, the Milwaukee Panthers return home to take on the Robert Morris Colonials.
Aguilar high on the right side. Defended tightly by Lawson. Takes him off the dribble. Gets inside. Left hand leaner. A scoop for Amar Aguilar. Dixon across the timeline with two. Dixon left of the lane corner. Hubbard, three at the gun. It is pure. It is pure.
Scott Warris has the coverage Saturday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Tracy, going back to the process, and as it relates specifically to the partnership that Old National Bank has with Housing Resource, what does the process consist of when coming through this program?
It's a referral process. We work with clients that first-time homeowners that may not have the counseling that they need. They may not have the equity, the down payment that they need. So we refer them to our partners like HRI or Housing Resources, Inc., because we recognize that those organizations, they have the resources, they have the tutorial documentation and all of those things that are necessary for first-time homeowners that don't know the process, may not know the system, may not know what's required for home ownership. So working with Housing Resources Inc. and other partnerships that we have like through WIDA has been very, very advantageous, not only for us, but also the organizations, but also for the community.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Looking for a fun and meaningful way to kick off the holiday season? Join us for the 20th anniversary of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive, Saturday, December 13th at the Kasmeric Center in Grafton. This free, family-friendly event is a celebration of giving. Bring a new, unwrapped toy and help brighten the holidays for children and families in need across Wisconsin. To learn more or get involved, visit kidstokidstoydrive.com and join us on December 13th in Grafton.
My name is Adrienne, and I was hurt in a car accident. What Gruber Lofts has done for me was made me feel safe. It didn't cost me anything, just one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Lofts today. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Rick asked me why I don't like Mandela. It's not that I don't like him. It's just I prioritize the political well-being of my people over an individual. Like, I supported him against Ron Johnson because, Ron Johnson needed to go. And he was the easiest Republican to beat at that time. In fact, my Republican friends, so before the election in 2022 when Mandela was running for the Senate, that was my first time talking to Kamala Harris. In fact, I talked to Kamala Harris twice. I did 2 interviews with her because she, as Vice President of the United States, was supporting and endorsing and was a surrogate for Mandela Barnes. My Republican friends are like, Sherwin, you guys are going to get us, because Republicans really can't stand Mandela. And they resigned to the fact that Ron Johnson was the weakest Republican electorally in the whole country. And Mandela lost to dude. Because I remember on election night, my Republican, 2 of them in particular was like, Sherwin, I can't believe you guys blew this one. He's like, you guys are screwed. And I was like, no, maybe just, I don't know what it was. I try to make up some excuse, whatever. But when my Republican friends saw that Mandela couldn't beat the weakest Republican in 2022, they knew that Trump would win Wisconsin in 2024, and they were right. He just shouldn't run, because he's going to mess the field up. Not to mention the field is already crowded. You got Democratic Socialists in there, Francesca Hong. She's motivated by the Mamdani win in New York. First of all, Wisconsin ain't New York. And Francesca Hong is running her primary like black people don't exist, so no thanks. And black folks don't vote for Democratic Socialists anyway. The Democratic Socialism that is touted by Bernie Sanders and others is rooted in Western European Democratic Socialism. Let me just go ahead and throw this out here before I take this call from Al from Sherman Park. Do you think that modern black folks who were colonized by Western European people want to impart a political system that has its roots in Western Europe? No. Democratic socialism ignores the impact of race on American policy, and I refuse to vote for a person, a place, or a thing that refuses to understand the impact of our history and our cultural connection to this country in their policymaking. Bernie Sanders does not get African-American support. In fact, when Bernie Sanders was running in 2020, this is before Joe Biden got in the race, Jim Clyburn urged Joe Biden to get into the race. And what happened? All of the African-American Democratic primary states in the South overwhelmingly voted for Joe Biden. We don't do democratic socialism. And if we, black people, are the backbone and the base of the Democratic Party, stop putting democratic socialists in our faces for national races. Run a democratic socialist locally. Elect a Democratic Socialist to, the county board. Elect a Democratic Socialist to the damn school board. Not nationally, because you won't get the black vote, and you're going to be handing elections over to Trump-loving Republicans. And I don't want to have to repeat myself. How many more elections we going to have to lose before these white folks figure it out? If I could just tell white people how to be better whites, they'd be so much better off. Because we need them, right? Because they're the ones that are closest to the power, but they don't know how to do it. We black people, we would be better white people than white people. Damn. I'd be such a good white.
What?
Because I know how to use my whiteness. Let's talk to another person that would be a very good white. Hi, Al from Sherman Park. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Sherwin? It's interesting to think that Mandela's going to run again. This whole Democratic family / Democratic socialists, do they really think they're going to win back the working class through the socialism aspect? Because I think back to when Milwaukee had 3 socialist mayors from 1910 through 1960. And they were basically put forth by, Europeans, the Germans and the Polish in their union efforts. And everybody was supposed to be equal, except in the city of Milwaukee, we had the most segregation and racial covenants on housing and redlining under the socialists than we did after, 1968 when we finally
we elected our first Democratic Socialists in this city before you had housing covenants. Most of Milwaukee probably wasn't even settled yet. So we're looking at the 1880s and 1890s. Milwaukee wasn't really a segregated city because the black population here was so small, it was too small to segregate. The kind of socialist, that was socialism. That wasn't democratic socialism. That was the kind of socialism that took tax dollars and built roads and bridges and infrastructure. The kind of socialism, democratic socialism, it would be free health care, free college, forgive your student loans, rent freezes, that kind of stuff. They are 2 totally different political systems that we cannot conflate. So that brand of socialism then built the infrastructure of the city with tax money. The kind of democratic socialism that exists now is more like social welfare programs, extending that to low income, working class, and poor people. Very different, not the same.
Well, my question is, how come the Democrat socialist leaders all seem to come from affluent families?
You're asking the wrong one. Ask them. I don't know. I'm not one of those.
I just don't think that socialist thing is going to work out well for the Democrats. But
we already have enough socialism. We got socialism with police departments and fire departments and garbage pickup and snow removal and EBT benefits and SNAP benefits and farmers. They get a brand of socialism because if they produce too much damn corn, the government buys the corn. Now the corn ends up as ethanol in the fuel and high fructose corn syrup. We already have socialism. I just watched thank you for your call, by the way. I'm getting him off the phone before I yell at him. I watched a documentary yesterday on government cheese. You would think, Ricky's making a funny face. You would think that would be, that's boring. I got to tell you this on the other side. I haven't even gone through the list of companies that we should be boycotting if we really want to have some kind of major political impact. Somebody in the YouTube chat, I got to bring these things up as I see them, otherwise I'll forget. They said, imagine if Black America boycotted General Motors. No pimps, preachers, or funeral homes buying Cadillacs. So Cadillac is not even our number one brand anymore. Did you guys know that? There was always a stereotype. Well, it's true that black people love Cadillacs. Guilty as charged. One of the best vehicles I ever owned was a Cadillac Seville. Love my Cadillac. My mother had a Cadillac. My mother had like 2 Cadillacs, right? Cadillacs have gotten too expensive. You know what our 2 bigger brands are as black people from General Motors that we prefer? Buick and Chevy. Because they're cheaper. I've never owned a Buick, but I've had 3 Chevys. I had a Blazer. I had a Camaro. And most recently, I had a Chevy Volt, a plug-in hybrid, but it went boo-boo on me. Did y'all know my Chevy Volt went boo-boo on me? It left me stranded 2 times. I don't like that. You leave me stranded 1 time, okay, shame on you. You leave me stranded 2 times, shame on me. So I got rid of it. But yeah, our preferred automobile brands are no longer. Cadillac is, I think, number 3. It teeters between 2 and 3, but Cadillacs have gotten so expensive that they have now fallen out of favor of African-American vehicle purchasers in favor of Chevrolets and Buicks. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Wisconsin winters can be tough, and so are higher energy bills. The Community Advocates Milwaukee County Energy Assistance Program is ready to help you. Eligible Milwaukee County residents can receive help with their energy bills and weatherization benefits to keep you warm and help you manage your heating and electric bills. Schedule your personal appointment at keepwarmmke.org or call 414-270-4653. For more details about locations and hours of operation, go to communityadvocates.net. This program is administered by the State of Wisconsin Department of Administration.
It starts with a spark. At Milwaukee College Prep, they nurture that spark from age 3 through 8th grade, building scholars with knowledge, character, and confidence. 88% of their students face economic hardship, but that does not define them. At MCP, they see students' potential, and they help them live up to that potential. 4 campuses, 1 mission. College and beyond, MCP is free, high-performing, and open to all Milwaukee families. Visit MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com to enroll or get involved. That's MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's Rhea Riley, and I'm here with Ashley Lucas from Associated Bank, and this is Making Your Money Work. In the simplest way, can you describe what is capital?
So we consider capital access to cash. So think of it as like liquidity. So how much do you have available if you needed to purchase a piece of equipment or hire new employees? Do you have funds available to you if you do have plans for expansion or unexpected purchases?
Why is having access to capital important for a business owner?
Well, unexpected things happen all the time, right? We just had floods in Wisconsin. Think about unexpected things that happen with that. If you want to grow and you have to hire new colleagues or employees before the busy season, think of a retail store for inventory. Before the holidays, they need to bulk up on inventory before they sell it. So it's important that they have access to capital to be able to expand their business.
What different types of capital are there?
There's typically 2 different types of capital that isn't a deposit account. 2 specific products are a business business credit card and a business line of credit. So a business line of credit is typically secured, and the interest rate is going to be prime plus a fixed margin. The really cool thing about a business line of credit is you can usually withdraw cash from it, and the interest rate is going to be exactly the same. So think about a line of credit for larger purchases or larger cash flow gaps. A business credit card is usually used more in the short term for something specific. Maybe you're purchasing ingredients for your restaurant. Maybe it's for mileage if you're a truck driver. And typically people have a business credit card to also use the rewards.
How can I get in touch with someone at Associated Bank?
You're more than welcome to come into any one of our branches, and our subject matter experts, our branch managers, would be able to assist with either of those products. Or you can call our virtual relationship management hotline, available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 1-800-270-7725.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been Making Your Money Work, brought to you by Associated Bank.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Three 212-1017. We're talking about like 25 different topics right now. We're preempting Mandela Barnes as he is announcing tomorrow that he is going to be a gubernatorial candidate for the state of Wisconsin, even though we have a pretty stout field of Democrats who have already announced. And if this campaign is anything similar to the one he ran in 2022, it won't win statewide, but what it will do is it will sacrifice the chances of other Democrats who might be fantastic executives and good policymakers, but they're not nearly as well known. And when it comes to a Democratic primary, people already knowing who you are increases the likelihood that they will vote for you. Now, I'm hoping that voters will remember what happened in 2022. I even gave Mandela Barnes money in 2022, and he and I have been on opposite ends of where I believe black Democrats should be. Remember when he ran against Lena Taylor for the state Senate in 2016? Lena got 70% of the vote. I'll never forget that. Lena wins basically 70-30 because white liberal progressive folks, which have now evolved into the Democratic Socialists, didn't like Lena Taylor, so they supported and endorsed Mandela to run against Lena to take her out. Now, I've had my political differences with Lena. Hell, I still got some. In fact, you know what's crazy? I saw Lena. I kind of don't want to admit this. I had to go to the grocery store one night. Just had to grab an item, whatever. I'm not going to tell you all the story. So I'm at the grocery store, not expecting to see anybody. I haven't seen Lena in... Last time I saw Lena was when she gave me a proclamation, and this is before we moved here to the 3rd Street Market Hall. So the last time I saw Lena, she came to our studios on East Capitol, and we left East Capitol in 2022. So I probably ain't seen Lena in 4 years. I see her at her and Terrence Ray at the grocery store in a pasta aisle in Wauwatosa. I was shocked. I wasn't sober either, which made it. I told you, don't ask. I don't know. I had to go to the grocery store. Don't worry about me. I wasn't entirely. I wasn't a .08, but I was at a point where you shouldn't have asked me any tough questions. And so I'm walking in the grocery store because I got to get something. I look up and I see Lena. I ain't seen Lena in 4 years. And she looked at me like I was short. Hello. I'm like, you heifer. Which you don't call the judge that. But that's what I was thinking at the time. But then Terrence Ray was cool with me. Terrence, oh, hey, Sherwin. I left him alone. But Mandela was encouraged. He's listening to the wrong people. Mandela he doesn't listen to us. He listens to them. Them led him astray. Them told him that his black ass need to be making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in a commercial. That's what them told him, and then them caused him to lose. Because if he is listening to them, he ain't gonna be with us, because them don't like us. Even though them are also Democrats, them are Democrats that think black people are inconvenient because our policy needs are so significant. So those of them that are also Democrats that don't particularly care for us are the ones telling him, them are telling him that he should run. Does that make sense to y'all? It makes sense to me. And I don't agree with them. And when Mandela ran against my friend Jason Fields in 2012, it was them that put him up to running against Jason. When Mandela beat Jason, that's how he got into the state legislature. Served 2 terms, and then he ran for lieutenant governor. So he's announcing tomorrow that he's running for governor. The other thing he'll do is he will probably take up some of the donations and the contributions that would have gone to lesser known but equally qualified gubernatorial candidates. It's really hard to raise money, especially in this environment. And the money is not coming from us. We're not really giving money as individual people and voters, as members of the body politic who are most impacted by policies. We're not giving a lot of money. So a lot of this money is coming from corporations and special interests, which again, don't have us in mind. Corporations and special interests are also a part of them, and them don't like us. So I don't know, maybe with all this, I think they're going to be talking about over at TMJ as well, that Mandela's going to be announcing tomorrow. I know Kyle's going to talk about it on his show, Truth to Power, which starts at noon. And maybe Mandela maybe he has a change of heart. Number 4, in corporations that black people should boycott instead of target if we want to actually use our dollars as a political tool is, and we'll never boycott this company. But that's why whoever was the curator of this Black Friday, Cyber Monday, whatever boycott saying, oh, don't shop at Target, the companies that make their profits and become internationally powerful global companies because of the black dollar are ones that we would never boycott, but those are the ones that could be our best political allies because their life's blood is off of our disposable income. And the 4th company is McDonald's. African Americans are a foundational consumer demographic in the quick service restaurant industry. McDonald's invests more targeted advertising dollars into black media than any other major fast food chain. Over-indexing in breakfast, the value menu, and late-night segments, all of which are overwhelmingly preferred by black consumers. Here's something else for you all to know. Black people are 42% more likely to be influenced by ads than any other racial group. Ain't that wild? So if you want to influence black consumers and black consumer behavior, by all means, advertise here on 101.7 The Truth. McDonald's would lose billions of dollars in revenue every year. Hundreds of franchises would become unprofitable and close, and the brand's cultural positioning would erode if African-American consumers boycotted McDonald's. But don't worry, we won't. This next one is embarrassing. I don't even want to tell you. It's so stereotypical. So I told you that I used to drive a Cadillac. In fact, I drove that Cadillac I bought it in 2005. It became my daily driver in 2007. And I sold it to the mechanic that maintained it in 2015. I had a 1991 Cadillac Seville that I bought with 40,000 miles on it. I drove for 10 years, right? So I drove this old school Cadillac. Oh, it was so clean. It was the only color you ever get a Cadillac in. It's a color called white diamond. It had the brown peanut butter leather, Corinthian leather. You know that leather with the buttons, that buttoned up leather. It had the brown Corinthian leather, and it had the brown vinyl mock convertible top on, and you couldn't tell me nothing when I was out riding around in that lack. But there was one day many years ago where I'm riding around in my Cadillac, and I stopped at KFC, and I immediately realized something, that I was the biggest stereotype on the planet. I'm in a Cadillac pulling into Kentucky Fried Chicken. All I needed was a grape soda, and that would have been the blackest thing ever. Number 5, Popeyes, KFC, and Wingstop. The quick service restaurant chicken sector. I'm going to pause right there. Black people, this is embarrassing. We prop up, like Popeyes, KFC, and Wingstop would not exist in their current forms if it wasn't for the black consumer dollar. And here's what's crazy. We as black people make better chicken, and not better than Popeyes. But we make very good chicken. But these are restaurants that we should boycott if we want to have immediate and swift political action. Take a break, come back, continue our conversation on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
So let me ask you, when the government, and again, I'm doing the air quotes, tightens the belt, who's standing underneath the belt when it snaps back?
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
Don't want you to agree. Honestly, should I be transparent? I don't really care if you agree. I, like you, want to be heard.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 1017 The Truth.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
Looking for a fun and meaningful way to kick off the holiday season? Join us for the 20th anniversary of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive, Saturday, December 13th at the Kasmeric Center in Grafton. This free, family-friendly event is a celebration of giving. Bring a new, unwrapped toy and help brighten the holidays for children and families in need across Wisconsin. To learn more or get involved, visit kidstokidstoydrive.com and join us on December 13th in Grafton.
Orthodontic Experts Wisconsin believes everyone deserves a confident dream smile. We offer braces for $195 a month, subject to terms and conditions, and accept most major insurance plans like Medicaid, traditional metal braces, discrete gold braces, and invisible clear aligners. Orthodontic Experts creates personalized treatment for the whole family. With clinics in Beloit, Hills Corners, Madison, Menominee Falls, and Mount Pleasant, there's no reason to wait on your smile transformation. Call Orthodontic Experts today for your no-cost consultation. 855-720-2470.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 5 and 20%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. Visit amfam.com to learn more. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
African Americans represent a disproportionately large share of fried chicken quick service restaurant sales. That's so embarrassing. Why are we overrepresented in like health foods and vegan, vegetarian restaurants? Popeye's explosive growth since 2019 is directly tied to black consumer influence online and via social media food culture. That damn chicken sandwich. Has anybody had it? Can any of you all comment either at 833-212-1017 or on YouTube if you had the Popeye's chicken sandwich? Because they're saying in this article, they're calling the growth of Popeye's explosive. It's directly tied to black consumer influence online and via social media food culture. The impact. Popeyes would have severe revenue contraction, likely shrinking back to a regional chain and then a local chain before bankruptcy if African Americans stop supporting Popeye's chicken. You guys know the story of John Broderson? Of course you do, because I've told it at least once a year for the last decade. John Broderson brought Popeyes to Milwaukee. Opened up his first franchise on 28th and Capitol in 1989. Borrowed some money from his daddy. His daddy was a dentist. He's from Chicago. Borrowed some money from his daddy. Took over operations from what then was a failing Popeye's chicken restaurant. He noticed that the profits weren't where they should have been, considering it's a fried chicken fast food restaurant on 28th and Capitol. So he installed cameras in the store. Didn't tell any of the employees that they were on camera. And what he found is that like every third order, the employees at the time would put the cash transactions in their pocket. I remember back then people weren't buying fast food with credit cards. It was all cash, right? So he got all the video evidence of his shift employees stealing. He took those tapes, the surveillance tapes of his employees stealing, took them to the police. He tells this story. And then at shift change, two things happened. All those employees that worked that particular shift were both simultaneously fired from Popeyes and arrested by the Milwaukee Police Department. John Broderson then was able to grow his Popeyes franchise ownership from a single store on 28th and Capitol to owning every Popeyes chicken restaurant in Wayne County, Michigan, which is Detroit. Can you imagine how many Popeyes chickens there must be in Detroit? And Detroit is damn near the size of Chicago. He also owned every Popeyes franchise on the island of Puerto Rico, because here's something we come to find out. This is why Puerto Ricans are basically black people that know Spanish. Or what I call them really is black people that know how to swim, because Puerto Ricans can swim. Black people, some of us can't. They like fried chicken too. So every Popeyes on the island of Puerto Rico and in Wayne County was owned by John Broderson. He gives this very detailed account about his relationship with that company, that he said that some of his children have never had Popeye's chicken. Can you believe that? I think he said one of his daughters, he's really explicit. He does like video interviews. Now, he hasn't done them in a long time, but you can find his interviews where he's really open, because other franchisors and franchisees look at John Broderson as the model of how do you get crazy, crazy rich by franchising quick service restaurants. But then he goes into like this personal anecdotal story where he won't let his children eat the chicken that has made them uncommonly rich because it's unhealthy. His children have never tried Popeye's chicken because it is so unhealthy. That chicken is for us. And it's on this list. Popeyes, KFC, and Wingstop, quick service restaurants in the chicken sector. African Americans represent a disproportionately large share of fried chicken. Quick service restaurant sales. Popeyes' explosive growth since 2019 is directly tied to black consumer influence. Popeyes would have severe revenue contraction, likely shrinking back to a regional chain, then a local chain, then bankrupt if black consumers stop buying Popeyes chicken. Wingstop, major demand would drop, particularly in urban markets if African Americans stop buying Wingstop. I don't know if I've ever even had Wingstop before. I know they opened one up on North Avenue, I think, in Wauwatosa.
Disgusting.
It's not good.
Wingstop is nasty.
Really? And then KFC would further decline in its U.S. relevance. The number 6 company that African Americans should boycott if they want to have immediate and swift action, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola historically built most of its loyal U.S. consumer base in the black community via targeted advertising and deep cultural alignment. I'm going to pause there, take a break, and come back for Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, think you're the ultimate trivia champ?
Well, prove it against us, your favorite WTMJ host.
It's free to play. All we ask is bring a new unwrapped toy to benefit Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive.
Or you can donate at WTMJ.com. Just text TOY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line.
855-616-1620. Grab your friends. Test your smarts. All while helping a great cause.
It's the WTMJ Trivia Challenge, coming to a place near you.
Check out the schedule of where we will be at WTMJ.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
A TUC. It's called the Senate Civil Suits for Unauthorized Data Seizures. And the continuing resolution that had to be voted on in order to open the government authorizes U.S. senators to file civil lawsuits against the U.S. government, including the Department of Justice, for up to $500,000 in damages per violation if federal law enforcement seizes or subpoenas their phone or other data without prior notification. Hold on, wait a minute. If you have been accused of a crime and there's evidence and probable cause, and the federal government or any investigating agency gets a warrant from a judge to seize your cell phone records, there's nothing you can do about that.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon. Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 1017 The Truth.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org and donate if you can. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We're talking about the companies that we should boycott if we want to have an immediate impact. Oh, hang on, I got to sneeze. I think that's the first time I've ever sneezed on the air. Let's talk to Shay. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm good, Sherwin. Thank you. I love the topic. I catch you guys every chance I can when I'm on my service truck. I want to make a comment about the owner of Popeyes. About 7 years ago, I was in Miami, and I'm a really big fan of offshore cigarette boat racing. And this guy owns his own offshore boat. So before the races start, you get a chance to go out there and talk to the people that run the boats. And I was just intrigued with the Popeyes boat because it's got the logo on there. And he comes out and I said, hey, that's a very beautiful vessel. And he actually spent about 10 minutes with me. And after picking his brain about the motors and the props and all this other crap, he let me on a couple of secrets. And after all the mechanical stuff was talked about, he said, I do own this boat and I do own Popeyes. And I said, wow, congratulations, you're doing very well, especially in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And he said he chose this dynamic area because if you build it, they will come. And that stuck with me for the longest time because it is very true. Take any abandoned building and let somebody put a sharks up there, I guarantee you in 2 or 3 months, you have a line outside because sharks built it, people will come. And they're spending their money on the most unhealthy food on the planet. But once again, we know it's unhealthy. You know it's unhealthy. If you build it, people will spend their money to buy it.
Wow.
And they don't care.
He's got, those boats are $5 million.
His was 7.5. He came in second place. And when I say, when he fire up those motors, you know it. Beautiful boat. And, he wasn't a snob like most rich people were. He was real cool, down to earth. And he let me on another little secret. Those boats out there that's being ran, Wesley Snipes, Sylvester Stallone, Al Pacino, they have those boats out there. You will never know it because they hired somebody to drive them. Mr. Popeyes, he said, screw that. I spent this kind of money on it. I'm going to blow it up. And I respected him for that. 100%, hands down.
Wow, Shay, thank you for calling in and sharing that with us.
Hey, man, I try to catch your show every day. Sometimes I can call, sometimes I can't, but big fan. I'm always be here for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You also can download the 101.7 The Truth app. Download the podcast, brother, if you miss the show. Really rich people own, first, it's fast cars. Then they want to go fast on water. I know that cigarette boat racing is a hobby of the ultra rich because there's only limited places in the country where you can even do it. And Miami is very popular for cigarette boat racing. And I thought the boats were like $4 or $5 million. I'm not shocked that John Broderson has got a $7.5 million boat. But the maintenance, the crew, the storage of the boats, like this is a multi-million-dollar hobby. Here's what's crazy, and I'm glad that Shay called in with that. Black folks, that's our boat. And Shay was cool. He was like, oh, yeah, and John, welcome me on the boat. Let me see the boat. Of course he did, because you're black. He knows that people that look like us, Shay, bought him that boat. Ain't that crazy? That is wild to me. But yeah, the cigarette boat racing, that is A-list celebrities oftentimes have those boats. But John was like, no, screw that. I'm going to be out here. I ain't going to pay somebody to drive my boat. I'm going to drive my own black people fried chicken boat. Ain't that wild? We have got some of the lowest incomes, health outcomes, life expectancies, lowest levels when it comes to skills, when it comes to education. But our money bought a white dude a speedboat because we like fried chicken. I mean, it's really good chicken, though. Let's talk to someone who I'm sure makes better fried chicken than Popeyes. Hello, Al. How was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was wonderful, wonderful.
Did you cook?
But I sure did. I did my chicken and duck dressing. I did my turkey with the with the, the injection butter, the Creole butter. I did my mac and cheese, my peach cobbler, my mustards and my collards and turnip greens and chicken broth with the smoked turkey legs. I did the cornbread. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. It was cool.
Wait, sounds good to me, Al. But that's not what you called it.
And the peach cobbler.
And the peach.
No, what I was going to say. Is, number one, since y'all buying Chevys, y'all need to stop that. Y'all know them Chevy Equinox and them Chevy Blazers. You know them engines and transmissions and trash. They're probably going to be at the auction in about a year and a half, and they're going to be parked outside low income. Number two, I think it would be great that black people turn the tables. Maybe sell black Chinese food, because, we know how to cook very well. And maybe keep your money from the church and start investing in yourself so you can give that blessing to yourself, because you are highly favored by the money that you invest in yourself, because you're putting your money for somebody to give you a blessing who's sitting there twirling their fingers. So invest in yourself. And then also you talked about trying to turn the tables with black spending. Another thing that could fix it, too, is if black men and black women will come together, and because there's too much division between black men and black women, and when you black men complain about black women, you make the white man happy, because the white man ain't complaining about his white woman. Only you black men. And I'm not trying to pick on y'all, but y'all complain too goddamn much. You blame her for being a single mother. You say she got to make better decisions, but you never say she made a good decision when she stopped effing you. You blame her for raising the kid, but some of y'all ain't trying to take custody. And it's wonderful you tried to take custody when they 10 years old, but she didn't did the hard part, so you already getting them pre-adult. And then y'all blame them for being masculine. You're blaming them for being independent. It's like, well, goddamn. Why do y'all keep blaming them, but you still keep asking for wet ass? And that's you're not making the white man happy. So I think we need to kind of change this around and bring the black woman and black man back together so y'all can gain forward in trying to fight white supremacy, and y'all can put y'all money together. You know what I mean, Mr. Hughes? Because I heard it all last week. But y'all never blame the black man for not raising his kid, considering some of you was raised by black women because your daddy didn't love you and didn't give a damn about you, and he went and made some more little bastards that he raised, but he didn't raise you. So if we can change this table and y'all can start respecting one another, it could be a wonderful thing. And I'm going to sit here and say this, Mr. Hughes, all black women, some of them can be a pain in the ass. So I don't want to put this like everybody perfect, and it's not. But we got to stop the complaining. Because Mr. Hughes, I was going to ask you, when it's said and done, when it comes to some of our brothers, some of them are good just to be a one-night stand. Some of them are good just for a nut. Some of them are good to call after 9 o'clock for a good F. Because when they walk out the door, you ain't going to call them back. But I think if we come to an understanding where we stop blaming each other and we start being honest with one another, you'll have more brothers not getting their windows bust out. You'll have more women not being jaded and bitter. And if y'all just put it all on the table, then y'all can start moving forward. Because you can't keep blaming the black woman, but you being biased to the black man. And white men and white women like that when black people go against each other, because they know y'all not going to come together to go against them. I needed to share that information, and I want y'all to have yourself a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. That's all right now. Oh, boy. That was an example as to why my family brought up Al. We all had Thanksgiving on Thursday. They were curious as to why he says what he says. He said we should start selling black Chinese food. You know what's crazy? You ever notice that there's a disproportionate number of Chinese restaurants in, around, and near the black community? You ever notice that? Because when Chinese immigrants who likely were not getting hired by white companies and corporations wanted to then sell their food culture to white people said, we're not allowing you to open up restaurants in our community, but we'll give you real estate in the black community. That literally all over the country. Go anywhere in a black neighborhood. Not only are you going to find a number of Chinese restaurants because white folks didn't want Chinese people opening up their restaurants in their community. Now, because the demand is so high, yes, there's Chinese restaurants in white communities, but that's like a later 20th century kind of invention. Or they'll franchise Chinese food to where white people can control the franchise dollars, like Wong's Walk. I don't think we have any Wong's Walks anymore. Wong's Walk wasn't bad now. Come on. It wasn't.
Miss Wong's Walk, especially that gravy with that chicken.
And they had a nice egg foo young. They put bean sprouts in their egg foo young. They make a nice egg foo young. But here's the other thing, just to show how stereotypical we are as black people. Chinese people don't eat fried chicken like that. You want to know why they have fried chicken on their menus? Because most Chinese restaurants have roots in the black community. And they know that we like fried chicken, so guess what? And I'm going to do my best Chinese accent. Well, the African Americans also love fried chicken, so maybe we will add it to our menu. So you thought I was going to do a stereotypical Chinese accent, you bunch of racists. Ain't that crazy? Because, I hate to admit this. Them Chinese people, they can fry some chicken. They can. Because even the sesame chicken is fried chicken, and the orange chicken is the fried chicken. And the one that we can't never pronounce? The General Tso's. The General Tso's. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The General Tso's. General Cho's. General Tsao. And no matter how you pronounce it, when you call that Chinese restaurant, the one where their kids be working? The one where the whole family be back there making the Chinese food? It don't matter how you pronounce that General Tso's chicken. They know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm going to get an order of General Tso's. Okay, anything else? Yeah, let me get some crab rangoon. Okay, anything else? You keep asking me anything else, I'll keep going. Yeah, anything else? Yeah, let me get some egg rolls. Anything else? Yep, let me get some wonton soup. Anything else? Yeah, y'all still got the orange chicken special? I'll just keep going. Let's talk to Security Mike. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, man? Hey, we love ourselves some Chinese, man. We can't, deny that. I got some help tips, man, because I've been eating a lot of Popeye's chicken. Now, what's bad about it? It's all fried foods are, but is it high in sodium or something?
Mike, it is probably pound for pound the worst food you can consume. It's fried, so it's soaked in grease. Chicken skin is exceptionally high in cholesterol. If you're going to eat chicken, it's got to be lean, boneless, skinless, white meat, like chicken breasts that are very low in fat. But no, fried chicken is, yes, it's high in sodium. It's going to raise your cholesterol. It's going to harden your arteries. If you eat it on occasion, it's fine. Because human beings have evolved to have a variety, like a varied diet. So if you have it every now and again, no real health concerns. But if you eat it more than twice a month, very bad for you. It also will. I've
definitely been eating more than twice a month. Dang.
It'll shape your food cravings too, to where you want more fried food. But yeah, you really thought it was. You didn't think it was healthy. You knew it was bad for you.
No, I knew it was bad, but I just wanted to, if it had a high sodium content, because my doctor was telling me to lower my sodium levels. We all know fried foods, whatever fried foods, is not good for you, but got to eat it in moderation, I guess.
Let's see. How often would you say you eat? Do you get a 4-piece? What do you get? 3-piece, 4-piece? What do you get when you go to Popeyes?
I've been going crazy on that 3 for $5. And the other day I got the 5 for $9, and I've been going with the Popeye chicken for at least the last 3 months.
Okay.
So I've been chilling because I've been eating it spicy. So last week, man, I said, man, my hemorrhoids are going, and I know it's from the fried foods and the spicy food, so I had to get some preparation Nates. So I've been straight. I've been straight since then. So yeah, I'm gonna have to chill on this Popeye's chicken then, but you can't beat those deals, and even the family feast, that $20, 8-piece with the sizes, that's a good deal. So yeah, I better chill, man. And this thing about Mandela Barnes, if that guy is endorsed by Trump, people getting tired of Trump. Mandela has a shot. If Trump endorsed that guy, Mandela has a shot.
Okay. Will Kamala Harris endorse Mandela?
You don't agree, huh?
Because the black community has never been sold on Mandela Barnes, and we're not going to vote for somebody just because he is the alternative. In midterm elections, black folks don't really vote anyway, so we got to be extra motivated to vote for a candidate. Mandela Barnes has never been extra motivation to black voters, never.
Well, I'm glad to see now you on my boy. When months ago I told you about my Pat Riley looking like Newsom, that's the boy. Now I see you kind of turning in favor of him now. And before you was like, you ain't really know nothing about him when I brought him up to see. I said, man, that boy cool. And he much younger than Trump. They talking all this, Biden was too old, this and that. Now you got a young guy that's cool, that's brash, and he'll fight with Trump. He'll show fight with Trump. So that's the boy that's going to take Trump out.
Well, I hope so. But thank you, Security Mike, and please lay off of the fried chicken.
All right, man. Thanks.
Okay, then. All right.
So we just going to act like we just didn't hear what we hear?
That honestly, and I've had a lot of conversations on these airwaves now, that by far
was disgusting.
That was the biggest back conversation. You know what big back conversation is? Numbers, 3 for $5, 2 for $20, the $20 family feast. Big back's talking chicken dollar prices.
And it's like, bro, why are you ordering a family feast? It's only you.
A large study found that people that ate fried chicken daily have a 13% higher risk of death. Consuming fried chicken in moderation or choosing healthier preparation methods like baking or frying or air frying is a healthier approach. I got articles on how eating fried chicken will kill you. And then my hemorrhoids is
Preparation H. Rubber cream on that thing.
So full disclosure, so for me it was genetic. My father had his hemorrhoids removed and I had mine removed as well. Worst pain I've ever felt in my life. Listen, I don't think you understand. So they had to go. And it's just like it's a vein that starts on your leg and it ends. Well, I don't have to get explicit as to where the hemorrhoid vein ends, and they go in there and they clip. How would I describe this pain? They gave me either hydrocodone or oxycodone, maximum strength opiate painkillers. Did no good. I was in so much pain for the first 3 days, I didn't sleep. Do you know how much pain you got to be in to not sleep and you're on opioid painkillers that literally did nothing? They didn't do anything. So I'm telling you, Security Mike, you better get it together now, Jack.
What do you order when you go to Popeyes?
I think last time I went, I got a 4-piece.
Because 8 pieces is a lot.
No, it's not.
You don't think 8 pieces of spicy chicken ain't a lot?
Well, if you buy it and then you have, like if you buy an 8-piece, it's lunch, dinner.
Ain't nobody separating that. They eating that all at once.
Now that I don't know any one person that can sit and eat 8 pieces of fried chicken. If somebody's buying 8 pieces of fried chicken, it's for their family. I don't know many single people, hey, let me get an 8-piece and just eat it myself. Most people, Mike's got a family. But they all probably, 3 for $5, a 2 for $22, a 55 for $22, a 55. That was just all big back numbers.
I get a 3-piece spicy with some red beans and rice.
Well, don't eat it anymore because you just bought the white dude a boat. But at least he lets black people ride on. Oh, yeah, come on over here, Blackie. Yeah, see that? Yeah, you bought this. I got a custom alligator interior. What if John Broderson said, you know what, the blacks buy so much of my chicken. I got this custom, I want to look his boat up. Actually, you know what, if I find this boat, why don't we do this? Take a break. And if I can find John Broderson's, his racing boat with the Popeyes logo on it, we're going to post it on YouTube. Let me try and find it. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. On Saturday night, the Milwaukee Panthers return home to take on the Robert Morris Colonials.
Aguilar high on the right side. Defended tightly by Lawson. Takes him off the dribble. Gets inside. Left hand leaner. A scoop for Amar Aguilar. Dixon across the timeline with 2. Dixon left of the lane corner. Hubbard, 3 at the gun. It is pure. It is pure.
Scott Warris has the coverage Saturday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Talk to these people in terms of how do I register for this program despite my reservations and my previous experiences of rejection?
Yes, I tell anybody and everybody that you can buy a house. It may take somebody longer than the other person depending on what your circumstances is with your credit and income and affordability, but you can purchase a house. The first step would be is to register for our program. You can come to our office, 7830 West Burleigh Street, or you can give us a call at 414-461-6330, or just go onto our website, hri-wi.org. Register for the first-time home buyer education workshop. That's going to be your first step to home ownership. During that class, you're going to learn everything that you need to know from A to Z, how to get approved for a house, how to look for a house and put an accepted offer, and how to close on a home.
At every meeting, at every new beginning, at every celebration, we make better happen. At Cousin Subs, better is more than just a word. It's a promise we serve at every party. Our customizable party boxes, box lunches, party chips, and dozen cookie boxes offer the options you need to please any crowd. Whatever the occasion, we will never settle for being just good enough. Order on our mobile app or online at cousinsubs.com. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
You make time for everyone else. Family, work, everything in between. Now it's time to take care of you. If you're 45 to 64 and don't have insurance or your plan doesn't cover screenings, you may qualify for free mammograms and Pap tests through the City of Milwaukee Health Department's Breast and Cervical Cancer Awareness Program. Call 414-286-2133 to see if you're eligible. Real self-care starts with your health, and early detection saves lives. Funded by Wisconsin Well Woman. Learn more at milwaukee.gov/wellwoman.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Pepsi, originally and especially Mountain Dew and Pepsi Cola. PepsiCo's urban beverage portfolio, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Gatorade, leans heavily on African-American purchasing power and sports-related consumption patterns. If African Americans boycotted or stopped supporting the Pepsi company, they would lose billions of dollars in revenue in the U.S. market. Oh, look at number 8. These are in no particular order, by the way. Diageo. No, I'm not saying that right. Diageo and Brown-Forman. Have you all ever heard of the corporation Diageo and Brown-Forman? No, you probably haven't. You're probably familiar with some of the brands that Diageo and Brown-Forman that they produce. Hennessy, Ciroc, Crown Royal, and Jack Daniels. They still make Ciroc. I thought that because Diddy doing the time. Did he do it? Diddy did it. Diddy did it. Diddy's doing the time. Hennessy, Ciroc, Crown Royal, and Jack Daniels, some of the strongest cultural loyalty consumer groups in the liquor industry are black people. That's so embarrassing. So between fried chicken, liquor, and Security Mike's high blood pressure, Hennessy's identity as a luxury cognac is largely rooted in African-American cultural endorsement. Hennessy and Ciroc would have a massive collapse in U.S. demand if African-Americans stopped supporting those spirit brands. Crown Royal and Jack Daniels would also have a steep market share loss. I'm giving you lists of companies that we could boycott that would be much more effective than boycotting Target, because Target's sales went up. In fact, Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales are expected to be higher than they were last year. So whatever boycotts we have in place right now, because we don't like companies repealing their DEI, it's not working. But these companies would go bankrupt if it was not for the African-American consumer dollar. So the next time you guys are thinking about boycott Popeyes, and John Broderson would have to sell his boat. I just pulled up a real quick article about him. This is what he says on his personal LinkedIn page. Started as a fry cook in Chicago in 1986. Moved to Milwaukee with $35,000 in a dream. Built 73 Popeyes restaurants in 5 states. Recently sold 53 businesses. Now seeking 1,031 trades for the 53 fee properties. Currently own and operate 20 Popeyes on the island of Puerto Rico. I can't imagine the money. You know the Puerto Ricans, they like fried chicken too. Hey, Papi, you know something? Hey, Papi, we like your fried chicken. Hey, that's Mexican. They don't do gritos, do they, the Puerto Ricans? Papi, let me tell you, come to Papi. Let me tell you something. You want to go get a 3-piece and a biscuit with Security Mike and get the high blood pressure? You want to go to the Popeyes, get the Big Bag Special? $40 gets you 57 pieces of chicken. Oh, I love it so much. I like it spicy. Oh, what are the Puerto Ricans going to do? Come on. They're not going to get mad at me. We love the Puerto Ricans very much. Let's say here to Papi. You know something? You come through the cookout. We're going to have the Puerto Rican rice. And we're going to have the Popeye chicken. We all go get high blood pressure medication. You know sometimes people pass out drugs. At the bar, they pass out drugs. We pass out high blood pressure medication. We take it recreationally. We take the lisinopril. Here, you got some lisinopril. I got some. You want some? Here you go. Blood pressure. Let's see here. What is this one here? John Broderson's first Popeyes chicken and biscuits in Milwaukee's inner city was open for only a couple of weeks, but he was certain it was a success and that he was making buckets of money. The customers were pouring in, waiting in long lines in the drive-thru and clogging the dining room. Then one of his employees hit him with a cold dose of reality. Quote, "Are you stupid or what?" she said to Broderson. He gave her an opportunity to explain herself before he fired her. Quote, "They're robbing you blind." Who? He said. She said the other employees. Some of Broderson's right-hand people were failing to ring up every third order, pocketing the money instead. Young and inexperienced, and then 26 years old. A 26-year-old white dude brought Popeyes to Milwaukee. That's crazy. What are our 26-year-old black men doing?
Do you see his house?
I think he sold that one, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He tried to get it demolished, but I think but it's a pretty big house, though.
Oh, it's not only is it pretty, it's the one that's on Lake Drive?
Yep.
Yeah, I seen it. It's more than big. It looks like a middle school.
He said it cost $1 million just to repair the whole house.
Selling fried chicken to black people.
I have my house on Lake Drive. You got a Picasso in your house.
He's got a boat, a $7.5 million boat with several $1 million every single year to maintain a racing team.
And for people that don't know, you got to have some money to live on Lake Drive.
Oh, that's not nearly his only house. The dude owns 20 franchises in Puerto Rico. If you get franchised corporate quick service restaurant fried chicken in Puerto Rico, you probably get it from Popeyes. They probably got a big bag special just for the Puerto Ricans. Some of Broderson's right-hand people were failing to ring up every third order, pocketing the money instead. Young and inexperienced, then 26-year-old Broderson had no inventory system and didn't keep track of food costs, thinking his constant presence would be enough to keep the store running smoothly. So he had no way of knowing that guys with whom he had beers with regularly after work were lifting cash from the register. Thus began the first lesson in restaurant operations for Broderson. Quote, I was getting ripped off blind and I didn't know, he said. You learn from the school of hard knocks. It was a huge eye-opening experience. Broderson fired the employees and began tracking food costs on a self-made spreadsheet. Such lessons have been vital for Broderson, who built his franchise company by opening Popeyes units where other owners were afraid to go. Central cities filled with high crime and low income. Oh, my God. We ain't got nobody to blame but ourselves. He built his franchise company by opening Popeyes units where other owners were afraid to go. Central cities filled with high crime and low incomes. Areas not generally known for corporate success, yet here he is, the owner of 29 stores in 2 states plus Puerto Rico, and his stores have volumes that make other Popeyes franchise owners drool. Broderson grew up on Chicago's South Side. I said his daddy was a dentist. His daddy was an optometrist, an eye doctor. Ain't that crazy? Your daddy can work in Lens Crafters and then he can give you a loan to open up a Popeyes? Broderson grew up on Chicago's South Side, the son of an optometrist. Their neighbors were franchisees. The guy across the street had a bigger house, and he owned a Dunkin' Donuts. Down the street, a Burger King owner had an even nicer house. Quote, I was a kid, Broderson said, and when you're a kid, you just look at the houses. You don't look at the bank. I looked at the houses, and I thought, there's something to this fast food thing. Broderson tried other jobs after he finished college, but he couldn't quite get the image of those houses out of his head. In 1986, he went to work for a Popeyes near his house in Chicago. He says, as a cook, I wanted to learn everything from the ground up. He did move up, and when he became a manager roving from store to store, he noticed the units in the inner cities did much better than those in the suburbs. Quote, I didn't exactly know why, he said. There's more density per square mile in the inner city, and people are coming in more often. It was a double whammy. I thought it's a no-brainer. Hang on a second. I want you guys to think for a second. Let's look at all the suburbs. Glendale, Brown Deer, Fox Point, River Hills. Franklin, Oak Creek, Cudahy, St. Francis, Wauwatosa, West Milwaukee. Are there any Popeyes in any suburbs? Don't you dare tell me, because there ain't no Chick-fil-A's in the city.
If you want to count Miller Parkway as a suburb.
That is. That's West Milwaukee. That's not Milwaukee. No. Oh, hang on. Where is it at? Miller Parkway?
Yeah, it's right there on the corner of the intersection of
that's like, National and like
National or Greenfield or something like that.
Yeah. Is that Milwaukee?
It's Milwaukee. It's just West Milwaukee. It's like it's kind of hard to say because it's West Milwaukee and West Allen.
But yeah, it's right on the border. If it is in West Milwaukee, it's right on the border. So other than that, there's no Popeyes in the suburbs. They're all in the city.
Then you got that one Mayfair Road.
Yep, Burleigh, right? Burleigh, yep, that's it. And the rest of them is in the city. But there's no Chick-fil-A's in the central city. Chick-fil-A would do real good. I bet Chick-fil-A will probably do better. The food is better. It's fresher. And the only they got fried chicken sandwiches, I guess, and their nuggets. But you can't get a 4-piece extra spicy from Chick-fil-A. I gotta take a break, don't I? Am I over? Yeah, over here talking about this man making his money. Look at him. I'm looking at a picture of him, He's got his arm around a Hispanic lady, and then his other arm is around an overweight black woman with a low haircut. Looks like a black lesbian. And he just standing there smiling with a Popeye sign in the background. God bless America. All right, well, black people. Here's the thing. If I open up a fried chicken restaurant, nobody would even support it. They would rather go to Popeyes. Sherwin's Chicken Shack. I can make the best fried chicken ever. I would even have on my sign better than Popeyes, and y'all would still go to Popeyes. I could even do a big bag special. A four for $4. 4 pieces of chicken for $4. You'd rather go to Popeyes and get it.
You will not see a profit margin.
Yeah, well, chicken is cheap. Oh, I was going to tell you about the documentary I saw on government cheese. I'm going to talk about that next. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Ring in your holiday season at the Bradley Symphony Center when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra and the Milwaukee Symphony Chorus present Hometown Holiday Pops, December 13th through the 21st. With 7 performances to choose from, there are plenty of opportunities for you to enjoy one of Milwaukee's most cherished and tuneful holiday traditions. Visit MSO.org for tickets and more information, or call 414-291-7605. Allen Bradley Hall will be the very portrait of holiday cheer as you delight in so many of your favorite seasonal tunes in world-class performances. With an audience sing-along, performances by the Milwaukee Handbell Ensemble, and even a visit from jolly old St. Nick, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Don't miss this chance to make cozy holiday memories with family and friends. The number again for tickets is 414-291-7605 or online at MSO.org.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But, try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Orthodontic Experts Wisconsin believes everyone deserves a confident dream smile. We offer braces for $195 a month, subject to terms and conditions, and accept most major insurance plans like Medicaid, traditional metal braces, discrete gold braces, and invisible clear aligners. Orthodontic Experts creates personalized treatment for the whole family. With clinics in Beloit, Hills Corners, Madison, Menominee Falls, and Mount Pleasant, there's no reason to wait on your smile transformation. Call Orthodontic Experts today for your no-cost consultation. 855-720-2470.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Do you know what I love about Louisiana?
Probably my cooking.
I love the flavors that come out of here.
Have you tasted my cooking?
Have you tasted Popeye's sweet heat butterfly shrimp? They start out a little sweet with my shortbread flavor, then comes a little heat.
You bred spicy shrimp and sweet shortbread?
I do. You can grab 8 shrimp plus a side and a biscuit for just $5, or mix in some tenders with my surfing turkey.
You are good, Annie.
Not half as good as my shrimp.
Unbelievable. So stereotypical. Damn, them shrimp look delicious. It had a dipping sauce. I love to dip my food. I like a dipping sauce. I like a sauce. Oh. Since we're on Big Bag Conversation, you guys remember the old red snapper that was on Lisbon and Center and 60th Street, that crazy intersection right there? It is now the Five Corners Fish Market, and it is delicious. The service is fantastic. It is black-owned. It is really, really good. I've tried the cod and I've tried the perch. But don't eat fried fish all the time because it's not good for you. I haven't tried the catfish because if I have other fish options, catfish is usually lower on the list. But yeah, the Five Corners Fish Market, they got real good fish. And you get big portions for the price. It's a good deal. Let's talk to Andre. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you, Andre?
Hey, I'm good. You mentioned that Popeyes. One of the first Popeyes on 4th and Center when all that, what you were talking about, happened.
The first one was on 28th and Capitol.
I thought the first one was on 4th and Center.
Nope, 1989, 28th and Capitol. But he owns that one too.
But that guy you talking about, he don't own them Popeyes no more. He sold them to some Middle Eastern guy.
Oh, I believe that.
And this guy owns more than anybody in the country. Owns in excess of 150. I think I read that when that one on 76 and Good Hope caught a fire. And I thought about you talking about this guy previously on the other shows I've listened to, following you over the years. Because some Middle Eastern guy owns all the Popeyes here now.
So John Broderson cashed out, but he still owns the ones in Puerto Rico. He ain't selling those, apparently. He owns all 20 of them on the island of Puerto Rico. And here's what's crazy. Puerto Rico is only 100 miles long. Puerto Rico is an island that's the size of the stretch of highway between Milwaukee and Chicago. Can you imagine 20 Popeyes restaurants in a stretch between
one every
Milwaukee
5 miles.
Literally. Plenty of chicken.
Wow.
I know that's right. So what's your favorite order? What's your favorite order, Andre? Because I know you love Popeyes too. I know you got an order. What's your favorite one?
I go to that. What's that? The Outpost. I don't eat that Popeyes.
Stop laughing. Yes, you do.
That hot. Hey, that spicy. They fried fuck all of them, but that spicy chicken and honey. That's the hit there.
Okay, thought so.
All right.
Thank you. All right. You over here laughing, talking about he don't know what his favorite Popeyes order is. I think Popeyes, from what I've heard today so far, I think Popeyes ranks up there with Jesus as far as stuff that black people love. What else we got here on the list? Number 9, beauty conglomerates with textured hair segments. L'Oreal, Unilever, Procter & Gamble. Brands include Shea Moisture, Carol's Daughter, Pantene Gold Series, Dark and Lovely, Miel. I never heard of Miel. African American women drive the entire textured hair care industry. The whole industry is black women. Black women outspend every demographic per person on beauty and personal care. The impact. The entire ethnic/textured hair care market would collapse if black women stopped spending. It would remove hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue every year and would undermine retail beauty categories cross-culturally. Holy smokes. These companies that provide whatever is included in the textured hair care market make so much money off of black women that some of their other brands and products that they sell to other races, those would collapse too. Because the profitability of black women spending money on beauty and textured hair care products is so robust that it fuels other business interests. Here's what is wild about that. We make these companies so profitable that they can take risks with other brands and other products with the money they make off of us. Hey, let's try this new blonde platinum hair coloring for white women. But, sir, we don't think it'll sell. Oh, that's okay. If it loses money, we just make more money off of black women. So there's one more. 2 more. 3 more. Oh, we're not going to boycott any of this stuff. If we boycotted Paramount, which owns BET, which I didn't know. Paramount owns BET, Revolt, Urban One, and other black-focused media networks. Their viewership, advertising base, and cultural currency rely on African-American consumers. If African-Americans stop supporting Paramount, these networks would cease to exist. Number 11 is major record labels, Universal, Sony, and Warner. Hip-hop, R&B, gospel, and black-led pop genres constitute a massive share of revenue. Streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music also depend on these genres for engagement. If African Americans stop supporting major record labels like Universal, Sony, and Warner, a collapse of streaming volume, touring revenue, A&R profitability, and Billboard reaching output would collapse. Number 12, I'm wearing a damn Bucks hat. Number 12 is the NBA. The fan base, cultural identity, and athlete base rely disproportionately on African-American consumers. Black consumers also power apparel sales of NBA plus Nike brands and media engagement. If African Americans boycotted the NBA, there'd be a drastic loss in viewership, merchandise revenue, and cultural relevance. I'm literally wearing a Bucks hat right now. All right, let's take a break, come back. I'm finally going to tell you about the documentary that I saw on government cheese. And it made me want government cheese. We've all had it. Guess where our school lunch cheese came from? If you grew up in the 70s and the 80s and you had a grilled cheese from your high school, your middle school, your elementary school, that was government cheese because it wasn't just distributed to food banks and food pantries and given out to people that receive SNAP benefits and welfare or whatever. It was given to public schools all over the country. I'm going to tell you the details about the trick that was, in fact, government cheese. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This season, the Bucks are going for it all.
A game winner for the Greek Freak.
Go inside the team's pursuit of a championship on Locked In, the new season of the Behind the Bucks podcast, narrated by Bucks legend Marcus Johnson. Hear from the team stars on why they think they can make history. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker, and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Tracy, going back to the process, and as it relates specifically to the partnership that Old National Bank has with Housing Resource, what does the process consist of when coming through this program?
You know, it's a referral process. We work with clients that first-time homeowners that may not have the counseling that they need. They may not have the equity, the down payment that they need. So we refer them to our partners like HRI or Housing Resources, Inc., because we recognize that those organizations, they have the resources, they have the tutorial documentation and all of those things that are necessary for first-time homeowners that don't know the process, may not know the system, may not know what's required for home ownership. So working with Housing Resources, Inc. and other partnerships that we have like through WIDA has been very, very advantageous, not only for us, but also the organizations, but also for the community.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at Potawatomi.com/heart.
Here's a dose of reality. Driving under the influence of prescription painkillers is just as illegal and just as deadly as driving drunk. In fact, there are nearly 2,000 drug-related crashes every year in Wisconsin. Help prevent drug to driving, and let's achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roadways. Driving on pills kills. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Departments of Health Services, Transportation, and Justice.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tired of some of that same old bland, greasy, fast food fried chicken? Hop into Popeyes and pick up that great original New Orleans flavor. Served with golden French fries or tasty Cajun rice. Add some crunchy Popeyes onion rings. They're sliced, spiced, and fried just right. Fresh, homemade. Love it. That's that chicken from Popeyes. That's that chicken from
That's from 1979, that commercial was. That was before they had a Popeyes in Milwaukee. So right after the Great Depression, legislation was created to help farmers in case there was ever another major economic downturn. If farmers produced an agricultural product that they couldn't sell because Americans didn't have incomes or they were out of work, the government agreed to buy the surplus. So if there was lower demand for wheat or for corn, the United States government would buy it. And then throughout the 20th century, there was a program called, I think I might be messing up the name of it, like Food for Peace, where there were countries that didn't have robust food production or they were suffering from famine. We would provide our excess surplus corn and wheat to those countries if they agreed to disarm or not be against American interests. So we would produce extra food, farmers would, the government would buy it, which is welfare, because if American consumers don't want a product, why is the government buying it? Well, the government is buying it to keep farmers whole, and we know that farming was almost a 100% white endeavor. It's like 90-something% white now. So if farmers are overproducing something, they're producing a product that the market doesn't want, then the government will buy it. Here's what I come to find out. Since 2017, the demand for cow's milk is dropping. People aren't drinking cow's milk anymore. It is plummeting. But the government has always purchased excess milk. Now, milk has a shelf life. Can't keep it forever. So if milk demand is going down, which it has been, because of this policy that originated from the Great Depression, if farmers are producing too much milk, and now like cattle milk production is as high as it's ever been because they've mechanized all of the farming. There's so much technology involved in farming that now more milk is being produced than ever before, and it can be done so cheaply, but more milk is being produced than consumers actually want. So a lot of times that milk is turned into cheese because cheese is much more durable and it can be stored for longer periods of time. In fact, cheese can be aged. During the 1970s and the 1980s, farmers were producing more milk than American consumers would buy. So then that milk, that extra milk that was being purchased by the federal government said, what the hell are we going to do with all this milk? Well, we'll make cheese out of it. And then the cheese that we are making from the surplus of milk that farmers are producing, we will distribute to schools and to poor families. So government cheese is a farm subsidy. The government bought dairy from these farmers. So even if, here's another one. Let's say the price of milk dropped, and I don't know what it is a barrel. Let's say milk is $10 for a barrel. So for 55 gallons of milk, it's $10. But if the market value of milk drops because people are not buying cow's milk like they used to, if it dropped to, let's say, $3 a barrel, the federal government would give the farmers that additional $7 per barrel, so farmers never lost money on their milk production. So as milk production goes up, because of how sophisticated and how mechanized it is and how much technology is involved in farming nowadays. Whatever farmers cannot sell, the government would buy and they would turn it into cheese. And there was so much cheese. In this documentary, it says something like there was 5 pounds of government cheese for every single American. Like billions of pounds, millions and millions of pounds and tons of cheese because they were just buying it from these farmers because there was this legislation that was signed right after the Great Depression to make sure that farmers always stayed whole. We as the taxpayers here are subsidizing farmers. And because so much dairy and milk was produced, they made cheese out of it, and that's where government cheese came from. I still remember the creamy tartness of that Brown Deer High School grilled cheese. Oh, yes, I do. Don't look at me like that, Rick. That was government cheese. It's delicious. Now, my family never received the government cheese, but we sure did go to people's houses that received the government cheese. And I remember I was a fat kid. I'm a fat adult. I would just go and just get me a knife and just cut me a chunk of that government. It wasn't, come on, guys, it wasn't bad cheese. What have we learned today? We have been boycotting the wrong companies. And Mandela Barnes is announcing tomorrow that he's running for governor. Okay, I'll see you next time.
Need a way to hype up your day?
This is Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, you just won $5,000!
What would you do with $5,000?
That's sweet for a couple months.
Yes, yes,
there you
yes,
go.
yes.
Y'all just made me happy.
Stay